Broadcasting. If your broadcast has started, waiting momentarily for your streaming to start.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Today, we come to you live from Consol Energy Park in Washington, Pennsylvania for Game 3 of this three-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Ziegler, taking you through all the action here in the 2016 season for your Washington Wild Things. That 2016 season winding down quickly as the Wild Things are in a playoff race, currently a half game out of that second wild card spot behind the River City Rascals, who hold that second wild card spot. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Coming up, where we're going to recap both games of yesterday's doubleheader, that marathon doubleheader. The first game, Wild Things losing 6-5 in 10 innings of play, and then game 2 went to normal 7 with the Wild Things coming out victorious 9-7. That's coming up here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Also coming up, going to have our sit down with Wild Things infielder Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez a combined 3 for 7 in yesterday's doubleheader, including a home run. He drove in 2 runs in the game. So we'll talk to him about his performance in the doubleheader and how he thought his team did overall. Going to also have the lineups coming up for you and the pitching matchup. It's all coming up right here on the MSA Sports Network. Now, as we said, the Wild Things splitting the doubleheader with the Traverse City Beach Bums last night. Game 1, a marathon affair, 10 innings of play, with Traverse City coming out in the end by a score of 6-5. Lots of scoring in this ball game. The Wild Things would actually take the lead early on in the bottom of the first. Andrew Heck flew out, Chris Grayson popped out, and then Ricky Rodriguez with his 7th home run of the year. It was a blast over the left field wall, gave the Wild Things a 1-0 lead. Dave Popkins would then walk, followed by a Jimmy Yezzo walk to put runners at first and second with 2 men out, and Alvaro Gonzalez would pop out to end the inning. So after 1, it was 1-0 Washington Wild Things. Traverse City Beach Bums would get on the board in the top of the third. Marcus Dirks actually struck out to lead off the inning. However, a pass ball by Steve Solkoski allowed him to reach first with nobody out. The next 2 batters, Casey Rodriguez and Jose Vargas, would each strike out before Will Kendra came through with an RBI double. Dirks came around to score. That tied the game at 1. One batter later, Steven Patterson would hit an RBI double of his own. Kendra would score, and that gave the Traverse City Beach Bums a 2-1 lead going after 3 innings of play. Wild Things would get on the board in the top half of inning number 5. Chris Grayson popped out to lead things off. Then Ricky Rodriguez singled, Dave Popkins walked, and Jimmy Yezzo singled to load the bases with 1 man out. Alvaro Gonzalez would then pop out in foul territory for out number 2 before Grant Fink came through with a 2 RBI double. Both Rodriguez and Popkins would score, and that would give the Wild Things a 3-2 lead in the ball game. So it was 3-2 after the top of the 5th inning. Going to the top of the 6th, Traverse City back on the board again as Gabby Warby was hit by a pitch to lead things off. Then an RBI triple by Jeff Debut brought Warby around the score, and that would tie the game at 3. Next batter, Marcus Dirks, would hit an RBI single. That brought Debut in, and that gave the Traverse City Beach Bums a 4-3 lead. Casey Rodriguez would then sacrifice bunt him into scoring position, putting a runner at second with just that 1 man out before Jose Vargas hit into a fielder's choice. Colin Stanley had come on to pitch that 6th inning. He would be taken out. Devin Davis would come into the game, and he got Will Kendra to ground out to end that 6th inning. So after 6, it was 4-3 Traverse City. The Washington Wild Things would tie the game up in the bottom half of the 6th. Austin Warbrock grounded out, then Andrew Heck flew out, and Chris Grayson came through with a solo home run, his 4th home run of the season. That tied the game at 4 between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. It would stay on it at 4 at the end of regulation. Neither team scored in the 7th or the 8th. In the top of the 9th, the second extra inning in this ball game, the Traverse City Beach Bums had a courtesy runner on second with Steven Patterson to start the inning. Elijah Trail would then single. That put runners at first and third with nobody out. Giancarlo Bergoni hitting for Christian Santisteban would strike out, and then a sacrifice fly by Gabby Warby brought that courtesy runner in. That made the score 5-4 Traverse City. Next batter, Jeff Debut, would strike out, And that ended the inning. Wild Things would respond in the bottom half of the ninth as Austin Wobrock was their courtesy runner. Andrew Heck would single to start things. That put runners at first and third with nobody out. And then a balk by James Ball brought Wobrock in, and that tied the game up at 5 at a runner at second, nobody out for the Wild Things. Chris Grayson would then walk before Ricky Rodriguez hit into a 6-4-3 double play to put 2 outs and a runner at third before Dave Popkins was robbed on a sliding catch by the right fielder to end the inning. Going to the top of the 10th, it was 5-5. The courtesy runner for the Traverse City Beach Bums with their right fielder, Jeff Dubuque. Dubuque was on second before Marcus Dirks came through with an RBI single on the 4th pitch of the inning. Dubuque came around to score, and Traverse City took a 6-5 lead. Then Casey Rodriguez would hit into a fielder's choice. Jose Vargas would ground out, and Will Kendra would line out to a diving Grant Fink for out number 3. Going to the bottom of the 10th, the Wild Things would have their courtesy runner, Dave Popkins. Jimmy Yezzo was the first man to the plate. He hit into a fielder's choice. Popkins was caught between second and third. That was out number 1. And then Alvaro Gonzalez struck out, and Grant Fink struck out to end the game. Final score in that one, Traverse City got a 6-5 lead or win over your Washington Wild Things. The winning pitcher for Traverse City in that ball game was James Ball. Ball went 2 innings of work, did not give up a run on 1 hit, walked 1, and struck out 2. The starter for the Traverse City Beach Bums, Augie Gallardo, went 4 2/3 in the game, gave up 3 runs all earned on 7 hits, walked 3, and struck out 3 on the night. For the Wild Things, the losing pitcher was Brian O'Keefe. O'Keefe went an inning of work, gave up 1 run. It was not earned on just 1 hit, did not walk anybody, and didn't strike anybody out. The starter for the Washington Wild Things was Luke Wilkins. Wilkins went 5, gave up 2 runs, both earned on 8 hits, did not walk anybody, and struck out 10. So after that marathon game, still had another game to play on that night, as it was game 2 of the doubleheader. Kramer Champlin for the Traverse City Beach Bums facing off against Matt Snyder for your Washington Wild Things. And this one did not start out pretty for either team. They had a combined 9 errors in the first 3 innings of the ball game. It all started with the scoring wise in the top of the first. Marcus Dirks would walk to lead things off. He would then steal second. Strikeout by Ryan Bacher was the first out of the inning. Then Dirks would move up to third on a flyout by Jose Vargas before a very routine-looking play went disastrous for the Wild Things. John Fidanza was behind the plate. Fidanza went to throw the ball back to his starter, Matt Snyder, and the ball went over Snyder's head to second base. That allowed Dirks to score, and Traverse City took a 1-0 lead. Matt Snyder would strike out Will Kendra, and that would end that inning. Wild Things would respond in the bottom of the first. Right away, Andrew Heck reaching on an error by the third baseman, Jose Vargas, in that ball game. Chris Grayson would then sack bunt him over to second. Ricky Rodriguez would reach on a 2-base error to put runners at second and third with 1 man out before Dave Popkins hit an RBI ground out. Heck would score, and that tied the game at 1. Next batter, Jimmy Yezzo, he would ground out to end the inning. So it was 1-1 after 1. No runs were scored in the top of the second for Traverse City. Bottom half of that second inning, Kyle Pollock took the second pitch and crushed it over the left field wall. His 3rd home run of the season. That gave the Wild Things a 2-1 lead. Next batter, Grant Fink would ground out. Then John Fidanza was hit by a pitch, and Austin Wobrock hit a bouncing ball to first. It went under the glove of Giancarlo Bergoni. That was another error for the Beach Bums. Andrew Heck would then walk, and Chris Grayson into a fielder's choice. Fidanza came around to score, and the Wild Things took a 3-1 lead. Ricky Rodriguez would then fly out to end the inning. In the top half of the third, for the Traverse City Beach Bums, they batted around in the inning. It all started with a flyout by Jeff Dubuque. Then Marcus Dirks would strike out. Ryan Bacher singled. Jose Vargas would then reach on an error by Ricky Rodriguez, and Will Kendra reached on an error by the pitcher Matt Snyder, a throwing error. That allowed the first run to come in the inning. Ryan Bacher would score. That made it 3-2. Next batter, Elijah Trail, would walk to load the bases, and it was a 2 RBI triple for Steven Patterson. 2 more runs came in to score, and Traverse City took a 4-3 lead. Then Giancarlo Bergoni would walk in another run, as that made it 5-3 Traverse City Beach Bums, and that would be all for Matt Snyder. Snyder just went 2 2/3 in this ball game, gave up 5 runs. However, none of those runs earned on 3 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 5 against the Beach Bums. Ashton Parrott came in, got the final out of that inning as Kendall Patrick hit into a fielder's choice to end the inning. Wild Things would respond in the bottom of the third with a big inning of their own, as they scored 6 runs in the inning, and that gave the Wild Things at that point what would be a 7-5 lead. Wild Things would add on 2 more runs in the ball game, and the final score would be 9-6. Ashton Parrott throwing that 1/3 of an inning, able to pick up the victory in Game 2 of that doubleheader. With the win in Game 2 of the doubleheader, Wild Things currently sit at 42-42. Entering play here tonight, just a half game out of the second wild card spot here in the Frontier League. With a loss, the Traverse City Beach Bums sit at 37-47. They are currently 5.5 out of that second wild card spot, with 10 games to go. So it's going to take a lot for them to get back into it, but this playoff race getting interesting for your Wild Things as we get down to the final weeks. We're going to take our first break here on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, we're going to have our sit-down with Ricky Rodriguez. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Currently joined by Wild Things infielder Ricky Rodriguez. And Ricky, in last night's 2 games combined, you went 3 for 7, hit your 7th home run of the year. What was working for you at the plate in that game?
Just felt comfortable, seeing the ball really well, and just able to put good swings on the pitches that I was able to get.
And in that Game 1, ended up going 10 innings with the Traverse City Beach Bums. How did you have the energy to come back out for Game 2 after such a long Game 1, Game 2 not starting until 9:45?
It was definitely a grind, but we're out here every day, so we get pretty used to being out here for a long time. But it was tough, but just really had to lock in for that second one. We were able to come out with a W, so that was good.
And on that home run that you hit in the first game yesterday in the first inning, can you talk a little bit about what you were looking for and then what you saw from Augie Gallardo?
I was just looking for a fastball all over the plate, and was just telling myself, get the hand extended and don't miss it. And I was fortunate enough to get it and put a good swing on it, and it left the yard.
And Luke Wilkins delivered a pretty good start for you guys in that Game 1. Went 5 innings, he had just 2 runs. What did you see from him on the mound out in the field?
He looked really good. He was commanding the zone, able to make pitches when he needed to, just commanding both sides of the plate. So he's had a couple string of good starts, so if we could keep getting that from him, that would be huge.
Currently joined by infielder Ricky Rodriguez, and you saw both starters in the games last week. You saw Augie Gallardo and Kramer Champlin. Did that help you out at all coming into this doubleheader, having seen these guys so recently?
A little bit. I mean, we had a pretty good idea of what they were going to come at us with and the pitches they were going to use to try to get us out. So we were able to put a good approach together and put some swings together on those pitches that we got.
And coming into Game 3 of this 3-game series tonight, Tucker Simpson on the mound for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Have you heard much about him, or what have you been hearing in preparation for him?
I haven't heard anything about him, so we're going to have to watch him in his warm-up, see what he's got, and then just make adjustments throughout the game to put good swings on pitches that we're able to get.
And on the mound for you guys, you have Chase Cunningham, gets a lot of ground balls. As an infielder, what's it like playing behind Cunningham, knowing that you're going to get a lot of balls on the ground?
I mean, it's just you got to stay ready. You know that the ball's going to be hit on the ground, so you just got to be active and ready for at any time to get a ball hit right at you.
And finally, what are the keys to victory here in Game 3 of this 3-game series? You wrap this series up on a very big series with Joliet coming up on this weekend. What do you got to do to win tonight?
Well, hopefully we get a good performance from Chase, which he usually gives us, but we got to come out and swing the bats. So we got to get men on base, and when we get those guys on base, we got to come up with big hits to score them.
Thanks, Ricky. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for baseball here in Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. The Wild Things are on the field right now. They'll align like this defensively. Outfield left to right is Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, David Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Ricky Rodriguez and Austin Walbrock. Right side by Grant Fink and Jimmy Yezzo. Behind the plate is Kyle Pollock. Catching tonight's starter, Chase Cunningham. Cunningham so far in the year has a record of 5-9, a 4.56 ERA, appearing in his 17th game, making his 17th start. He's thrown 86 2/3 innings of work, giving up 89 hits, 48 runs, 44 of them earned on 28 walks and 41 strikeouts on the season. The lineup he'll face for the Traverse City Beach Bums looks like this. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Batting second in left field, Ryan Bacher. Hitting third, designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Batting fourth at shortstop, Will Kenger. Hitting fifth and playing at second base, Steven Patterson. Batting sixth at third base, Elijah Trail. Hitting seventh at first base, Christian Santisteban. Batting eighth and catching, Gabby Warby. And batting ninth and playing in right field is Jeff Debut. On the mound for the Traverse City Beach Bums is right-hander Tucker Simpson. Simpson so far in the year, a record of 3-3 and a 2.91 ERA. Wild Things looking for a series victory with the Traverse City Beach Bums here in tonight's game. Marcus Dirks makes his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top half of the first. Dirks so far in the year hitting .264, 1 home run, and 21 RBIs. A beautiful night for baseball here at Consol Energy Park. Nice cool temperatures outside, not a cloud in sight. And it's a great day for baseball. Wild Things in their red alternate jerseys with the black sleeves, their white lettering, and their white home pants. For Traverse City, they're in their dark blue alternates with the yellow light writing and their gray row pants. Marcus Dirks stepping in to be the leadoff man in all 3 games for the Traverse City Beach Bums here in this series. And right now, having a problem with the outfield corner gate out there as the home plate umpire Brian Miller directing traffic out there. The bullpen for the Traverse City Beach Bums will take care of it, and we are ready to play baseball here in the top of the first. Chase Cunningham on the hill pitched the longest outing of his Frontier League career last time out against Schaumburg on Friday night. Went 8 innings in that ball game. He's never gone 8 innings before in a contest, so good feat for him. See if he can build off it here tonight. Here's the first pitch, and that one's low and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. First pitch tonight thrown at 7:08 p.m. Eastern Time, and the temperature outside a cool 73 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot. The 1-0, that one's a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on Marcus Dirks for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Coaching on the bases, manager Dan Roan at third, and first base coach is Jake Rhodes. That next pitch, that's low and inside for a ball. Count going to 2 balls and 1 strike. Chase Cunningham, behind the first man he's faced here in this ball game, has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And this ball lined foul off the screen on the left side, and the count goes even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, nobody out, just underway here at Consol Energy Park. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Wild Things and Beach Bums splitting a doubleheader in last night's contest. The 2-2, and this one fouled back to the screen. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. So right away, Marcus Dirks making Chase Cunningham throw a lot of pitches off of the bat. On the season for Cunningham, 41 strikeouts and 28 walks in 86 2/3 innings of work. Here's the 2-2. And that one's just outside for a ball. The count now goes full to 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Bacher will be next. He follows Marcus Dirks. Cunningham's 3-2. And that one's high ball 4, so it's a leadoff walk for the Traverse City Beach Bums as they get their leadoff man on. And that brings to the plate the left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far in the year hitting .266, 1 home run, and 31 RBIs. Nobody out, runner at first for Traverse City. Marcus Dirks standing over there. Bacher coming to the plate. Chase Cunningham has been pretty good with his control all season long, just as of late. Walks have been hurting him. He walked 5 3 starts ago. Did not walk a man against Windy City and only walked 1 his last time out. So those numbers have been getting a little bit better for him. But in times he's been struggling with control on the year. The pitch, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on Ryan Bacher. That's what you want to see from Chase Cunningham. Work ahead. A guy who's going to get a lot of ground balls. Likes to pitch low in the zone and gets guys to pound the ball into the ground. Has his sign. Throw over to first. And Marcus Dirks gets back in there. Dirks so far in the year for the Traverse City Beach Bums has 16 stolen bases. Good for the team lead in that category. Cunningham looks in, checks the guy at first, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. That one's outside for a ball, and the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Ryan Bacher. Bacher bats from the left side against the right-handed pitcher Chase Cunningham. Ryan Bacher was out in left field for 2 out of the 3 games between the Wild Things back at Werfel Park. The switch hitter for Traverse City. Here's Cunningham's 1-1. This ball lined to the left side and foul. Back into the seats, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Ryan Bacher. Nobody out, top of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. However, the Beach Bums do have their leadoff man on here in the top half of this first inning. Cunningham looks in, has his sign, he's set, holds to the letters, and the 1-2 offering. This ball swung on and fouled away back to the screen. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chase Cunningham has had to work here through these first couple of batters in this first inning. Through 7 pitches to Marcus Dirks, and right now the 5th pitch of the way to Ryan Bacher as they're filing off some tough pitches. Cunningham has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. This ball lined on the left field line. It's hooking, and it'll go foul into the lawn area down the left field line. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Umpires for tonight's game, behind home plate, Brian Miller, and on the bases is Ron Whitting Sr. Just a flip-flop from Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. Chase Cunningham looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Cunningham checks Dirks at first, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-2. Taking off for second is Dirks, but this one fouled off to the left. And 3 straight foul balls here now by Ryan Bacher as he's on Cunningham's pitches just a little bit late as he hits that one off to the left. Cunningham having problems finding that strikeout pitch here today. He had 2 strikes on Marcus Dirks, would end up walking him, and was up 0-2 on Ryan Bacher before this foul ball parade started. Cunningham has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. Throw over to first, and Dirks back in there. Dirks did take off on the last pitch, but had to go back to first via the foul balls. We said a guy you want to watch over there as he leads this Traverse City team in stolen bases. Cunningham looks into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set, hold to the letters, and the 1-2. Dirks takes off for second, and again this pitch fouled away by Ryan Bacher. So Bacher fouling off his 4th straight pitch here from Chase Cunningham, and the 8th pitch of this at-bat coming up between Bacher and Cunningham. Cunningham's already thrown 15 pitches through the first 2 batters of this ball game. He's going to want to get that control down and get his efficiency up. Cunningham has his sign, he's set, here's the 1-2. That one's outside for a ball. Pitch out, throw down, and Pollock nails Marcus Dirks. A caught stealing, and that is out number 1. Wild Things snuff out the steal attempt from Marcus Dirks. A perfectly timed pitch out and a strong throw by Pollock is able to throw out Marcus Dirks. So now there's 1 out here in the top of the first. No score. Cunningham still working on Ryan Bacher, and the bases are now empty. Cunningham holds the letters, has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And a check swing, but he did not go around, did he? No, says the field umpire Ron Whitting Sr., and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Chase Cunningham a leadoff walk to start this inning, but then Marcus Dirks was just caught stealing by Kyle Pollock. 10th pitch of the at-bat on the way. And it's inside ball 4, so back-to-back walks to start the game for the Washington Wild Things and Chase Cunningham. Traverse City has a runner at first with 1 man out, as that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far in the year hitting .301, 13 home runs, and 47 RBIs. Those 13 home runs are currently good for first on this Traverse City team. One man out, top of the first. Bacher over at first. Cunningham has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this ball popped up. Foul territory to the right. Jimmy Yezzo giving chase towards the Wild Things bullpen. Grant Fink going as well. And they're going to run out of room as that'll fall behind the Wild Things bullpen. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things bullpen and the Traverse City bullpen both located in foul territory here at CONSOL Energy Park. So you always got to be aware of pop-ups that go over towards that side of the field. No balls, one strike, one man out here in the top of the first. Ryan Bacher, the runner, over at first. Cunningham looks into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. And this ball popped up foul territory. That'll get back into the seats, this time in right field, and that'll get foul, so no balls and 2 strikes. Cunningham ahead of Jose Vargas, 0-2. See if he can find this strikeout pitch here to get this second out of the inning. Currently only has 1 out, but has walked the first 2 batters he faced. Kyle Pollock picking up the first out of the game on the stolen base. The 0-2, and that one's just high for a ball. Count going to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cunningham couldn't get the chase on that high fastball. For Chase Cunningham, his biggest strikeout total of the year came last time out. 6 strikeouts against the Schaumburg Boomers. Has his sign, checks first, the 1-2, and this one fouled back to the screen, so the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Jose Vargas. Vargas, the designated hitter here in this ball game, DH'd in game 1 of the doubleheader last night, but then was at third for game 2. Chase Cunningham looking in. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Bacher takes his lead from first. Cunningham holds at the letters. Here's the 1-2. And a broken back grounder to Fink. Fink's going to handle it. Throws a second for 1 onto first. And it's in time for the double play. That will end the inning. 4-6-3. No runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on no hits, no errors, and they leave nobody on. After half an inning of play, the score, Traverse City nothing. Your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the first, and the score, Traverse City nothing, and your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. The Traverse City Beach Bums aligned defensively like this. In the outfield left to right, Ryan Bacher, Marcus Dirks, and Jeff Debut. Left side of the infield held down by Elijah Trail and Will Kenger. Right side by Stephen Patterson and Christian Santisteban. Behind the plate is Gabby Warby. Catching tonight's starter, Tucker Simpson. Simpson enters this one with a record of 3-3, a 2.91 ERA, appearing in his 9th game, making his 7th start. Has thrown 34 innings of work, giving up 34 hits, 14 runs, 11 of those earned on 17 walks, and struck out 19 so far on the season. The lineup he'll face for your Washington Wild Things looks like this. They'll lead off with their left fielder Andrew Heck, batting second in center field. Chris Grayson hitting third and playing at third base. Ricky Rodriguez batting fourth in right field. Dave Popkins batting fifth at first base. Jimmy Yezzo hitting sixth and catching. Kyle Pollock batting seventh at second base. Grant Fink hitting eighth. Designated hitter Justin Garcia. And batting ninth and playing at shortstop is Austin Wobrock. On the mound, as you saw, Chase Cunningham. Cunningham enters with a record of 5-9 and a 4.57 ERA. Andrew Heck at the plate. Here's Simpson's first pitch. And Heck takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Heck on the season hitting .273, no home runs, and 15 RBIs. Here's Simpson's 1-0. And that one's in the dirt as well, so the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Tucker Simpson falling behind the first man he faces here in the bottom of the half of the first. With the first 2 batters in the last inning, Chase Cunningham had some trouble with that. So we'll see how Simpson fares. Here's the 2-0. That one's a called strike, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Now, yesterday's doubleheader, the Wild Things had seen Augie Gallardo and Kramer Champlin each a week ago. Tucker Simpson, a guy they had not seen in that series. The 2-1, and that one's hitting to left field, and that's a base hit. Leadoff single for Andrew Heck, so the Wild Things get their leadoff man on here in the bottom of the first, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far in the year hitting .293, 4 home runs, and 18 RBIs. Nobody out, bottom of the first. Wild Things get their leadoff man on here in inning number 1. Both teams had their leadoff man reach in the first inning. And the Wild Things will try to bring him around and take an early lead. That's the first hit of the ball game on that Andrew Heck ground ball base hit. Heck takes his lead from first. Simpson looking in. Has his sign, he's set. Holds with the letters and the pitch. And that one's outside and high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Catcher Gabby Warby having to come out of the crouch to make that catch. For Andrew Heck at first base, has 7 steals on the year, good for second on the Wild Things team. Here's the 1-0, and Grayson pops this one up. On the infield to the left side, Elijah Trail camping under it by the foul line. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 1. One away for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the first, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far hitting .295, 7 home runs, and 32 RBIs. Hit that 7th home run of the year in Game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader. A bomb over the left field wall, not a cheapie at all. Ended up going in total 3 for 7 in that doubleheader with Traverse City. Tucker Simpson looking in, has his sign, he's set. Heck takes his lead from first, the pitch. And this one line into left field, and that'll get down in front of Bacher for a base hit. It's 1-out single now for Ricky Rodriguez, puts runners at first and second for the Wild Things, and brings up their right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far in the year is hitting .283 with 13 home runs and 44 RBIs. Those 13 home runs, good for the team lead on the Washington Wild Things. Andrew Heck, the runner at second, he led off the game with a single, and then with 1 out, Ricky Rodriguez singled. Rodriguez over at first. Dave Popkins, the switch hitter, batting from the left side against the right-hander Tucker Simpson. Simpson looks in, has his sign, he's set. Checks Heck out there at second, and the pitch. And Popkins takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. For Tucker Simpson, so far on the year, currently only 17 walks in 34 innings of work, also just 19 strikeouts. So not a guy who's going to walk many batters or get a lot of strikeouts. Going to have a lot of contact against him today. The 1-0. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Last time out for Simpson, did a pretty good job. 6 innings, 2 runs against the Lake Erie Crushers on 8 hits, giving up 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Simpson has his sign, checks second, the 1-1. And a swing and a foul ball there by Popkins right at the plate. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 on the Wild Things right fielder. Leads the team in home runs and RBIs with 13 and 44 so far on the season. Wild Things looking for a series victory here in Game 3 of this 3-game series with the Traverse City Beach Bums tonight. Andrew Heck at second, Ricky Rodriguez at first, Tucker Simpson looking in. Simpson has his sign, holds at the belt, checks second. Here's the 1-2. And just low for a ball. Popkins wisely lays off, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Dave Popkins standing in there for the Wild Things at 6'3", 225 from San Diego, California. Simpson has his sign. He's set. Holds at the belt. Checks second, the 2-2. And that one's a called strike 3. Dave Popkins strikes out, and that's out number 2 for the Wild Things. 2 men away. Still runners at first and second for the Wild Things. And it brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far on the year for Washington, hitting .222, 12 home runs, and 36 RBIs. Those 12 homers good for second on the Wild Things team. 2 men out here in the bottom of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Simpson has his sign. He's set. Checks second, the pitch. And Yezzo lining this one to right center field. Over his Dirks. He's not going to make the catch. Heck going to be way to the plate, and it gets by him. Heck scores easily. Rodriguez coming around. Here comes the throw, and Rodriguez will score. It's a 2 RBI double for Jimmy Yezzo, and the Wild Things take the lead early on. It's 2-0. Yezzo hitting that one in the right center field gap. Marcus Dirks went over, and it ended up going past him to the right fielder, Jeff Dubuque. Dubuque had to field it, and that allowed both Heck and Rodriguez to score pretty easily on that play. Runner at second, 2 men out. 2-0 Wild Things lead, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Tucker Simpson looking in. Yezzo takes his lead from second. Simpson has his sign. He's set, and the pitch. And Pollock takes this one in the inside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. Kyle Pollock on the year hitting .246, 3 home runs, and 15 RBIs. Wild Things get 2 here in the first. They lead 2-0 over the Beach Bums. Simpson has his sign, checks Yezzo, the 0-1. And that one's a called strike as well, just hitting that inside corner. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Clutch hitting there by the Wild Things first baseman. RBIs number 37 and 38 on the season for him. Good for second on the team. Here's Simpson's 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Pollock strikes out, and that'll end the inning. However, the Wild Things get 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 1 inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Traverse City Beach Bums. They would not score against Chase Cunningham as the first man, Marcus Dirks, walked to lead things off. However, Kyle Pollock would have a caught stealing as Dirks was thrown out going to second for out number 1. Then Ryan Bacher would walk, and Cunningham got a big 4-6-3 double play that ended the inning. Due up here in the second, Will Kenger, Steven Patterson, and Elijah Trail facing off against Chase Cunningham. So Cunningham, not too bad in that first inning, just the 2 walks, and then that got that big double play ball. We'll see if that helps his confidence here in inning number 2. Next Wild Things broadcast here on the MSA Sports Network will be Friday night, 6:05 first pitch, as we have a doubleheader for you between the Washington Wild Things and the Joliet Slammers. Game 1 of that doubleheader is a makeup from a game back in late June that the Wild Things and Slammers got rained out at Joliet. So Joliet will be the home team for Game 1 of that doubleheader, and then Game 2 of the doubleheader, the regularly scheduled game, on Friday night. So tune in here on the MSA Sports Network, 6:05 first pitch. Stepping to lead things off here on the top of the second for the Beach Bums is their shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far on the year, he's hitting .296, 7 home runs, and 45 RBIs. Wild Things defense going into a shift. Grant Fink out the shallow right. Here's the pitch, and Kenger takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Will Kenger's been in that cleanup spot all year for the Traverse City Beach Bums out of the shortstop position. The 1-0, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Early on, Cunningham falling behind a lot of batters here against Traverse City, trying to find his control here in the game. The 2-0, and this one fouled off the mask of Kyle Pollock behind the plate. 2 balls and a strike. For Pollock, he didn't start either game last night, was the designated hitter in Game 2 of the doubleheader. John Fidanza getting the start behind the plate in Game 2. However, he did come in to relieve Steve Solkoski in Game 1. The 2-1, that one's high for a ball, and the count now going to 3 balls and a strike here on Will Kenger. 2 walks already on the day for Chase Cunningham, trying to avoid walking his third men already in 1+ inning of work. The 3-1, and this one hit foul back into the seats. That'll fill the count up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count on the left-handed hitting Kenger against the right-handed pitcher, Chase Cunningham. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-2. And it's inside ball 4. Another leadoff walk here in the second inning. Back-to-back innings where Cunningham has walked the leadoff man, and Traverse City has him on with nobody out. That brings up the second baseman, Steven Patterson. Patterson so far in the year hitting .304, 12 home runs, and 56 RBIs. Nobody out here in the top of the second. 2-0 your Washington Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Kenger takes his lead from first. Cunningham looking in, has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss there by Patterson. The count goes to no balls and a strike. Cunningham ahead of the second man here in this inning. Walked that leadoff man for his 3rd walk of the night. Will Kenger so far in the year has stole 4 bases for Traverse City. Cunningham has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And that one's outside for a ball. Evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And right now, Kyle Pollock wanting to go out and talk with his right-handed pitcher. Chase Cunningham just hasn't been able to get his control down here early on. He's been all over the place. Got out of that first inning with a big double play. Has walked the leadoff man here, and we'll see what he does with nobody out in a 1-1 count on Steven Patterson. That meeting on the mound has concluded as Pollock goes back behind the plate. Patterson steps in. Cunningham looks in, shakes off the first sign, checks the runner at first, has one, set, holds at the letters, and the 1-1. That one's outside for a ball, and the count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 here on Steven Patterson. Patterson currently leads this Traverse City Beach Bums team with 56 RBIs on the year. Also, his .304 average is good for a team best. Cunningham's 2-1, and that one's a called strike, hitting the outside corner. It evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, nobody out, top of the second. 2-0 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Cunningham checks his runner at first. He's set, holds at the belt. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Cunningham strikes out Steven Patterson. That's good for out number 1. Cunningham's first strikeout of the day, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail so far in the year hitting .237 with 3 home runs and 20 RBIs. 1 man out, top of the second, 2-0 Wild Things lead. Will Kendra walk to lead off the inning. He's still at first. Here's Cunningham's pitch. And that one's just low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Elijah Trail. Trail played third base in Game 2 of that doubleheader last night between your Wild Things and the Beach Bums. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-0. And this ball fouled off back behind the plate. It'll get into the seats, and the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on the Traverse City Beach Bums third baseman. Chase Cunningham has been forced to throw a lot of pitches here in this ball game so far. Through the first 5 batters, he has not gone to less than a 2-ball count. Throw over to first, and Kendra gets back in. Kendra, as we mentioned, has 4 stolen bases, caught 6 times this season. Chase Cunningham looking in. Checks Kendra, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And this one hit foul back to the screen. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Elijah Trail. 1 man out in this top of the second inning. Cunningham looking for a clean second. Did not allow a run in that first inning of action. Cunningham looking into Kyle Pollock. Has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 offering. And this ball popped up right side, foul territory, but that'll get back into the seats. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 1 man out here in the top of the second inning. Chase Cunningham, 5-9 on the season, has pitched much better than that 5-9 record has suggested. He's had trouble getting offensive support here on the season so far. Here's the 1-2, and that one's a called strike 3. Elijah Trail strikes out, and that is out number 2. Second strikeout of the day for Chase Cunningham. 2 outs and still that runner at first. That'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Christian Santisteban. Santisteban so far in the year hitting .254, 1 home run, and 15 RBIs. Cunningham getting his first 2 strikeouts here in the inning. Elijah Trail, the first batter that Cunningham did not go to a 2-ball count on, so we'll see if he can build upon that here with Santisteban at the plate. Cunningham looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Santisteban takes this one for a strike at the letters. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City first baseman, batting from the left side against the righty Cunningham. Cunningham checks the runner at first, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. And Santisteban taking this one inside for a ball. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Santisteban split the series last time with Giancarlo Bergoni. Bergoni played 2 out of the 3 games when we were at Werfel Park. This series, Santisteban playing 2 out of the 3 games at first base here at CONSOL Energy Park. Here's Cunningham's 1-1, and that one's a called strike at the knees. Count going to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 men out, top of the second. 2-0 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Cunningham looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Holds the letters, and the 1-2 pitch. This ball popped up. Shallow left, out goes Andrew Heck and Austin Wobrock. Heck will call Wobrock off. He makes the catch, and that's good for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Traverse City Beach Bums. No hits, no errors, and 1 man left on after the walk. After 1.5 here at CONSOL Energy Park, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
To replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the bottom of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Wild Things got both their runs in the bottom half of the first. Andrew Heck singled to lead things off, then Chris Grayson would pop out. Ricky Rodriguez then singled to put runners at first and second with one man out. Dave Popkins would strike out for the second out of the inning before Jimmy Ezzo came through with a 2 RBI double to right center field. Heck and Rodriguez would both come around to score, and the Wild Things took a 2-0 lead. Next batter was Kyle Pollock. He would strike out to end the inning. Due up here in the second against Tucker Simpson, Grant Fink, Justin Garcia, and Austin Wobrock, 7, 8, and 9 against Tucker Simpson. So Simpson giving up those 2 runs in the first inning on 3 hits. Not bad with control per se, and his efficiency was actually pretty good through 2 or less pitches to 3 of the 5 batters he faced. Stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the second baseman Grant Fink. Fink so far in the year hitting 187, 8 home runs, and 21 RBIs. He collected a total of 4 RBIs on the day between the 2 games yesterday. The pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. Those 4 RBIs all coming via 2 hits. He had a 2 RBI single in Game 2 and a 2 RBI double in Game 1. The 0-1, and this one popped up by Fink back behind the stadium, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Tucker Simpson looking for a better command of the strike zone here in inning number 2 against the Wild Things. Has his sign, he's set. Here's the 0-2. And a check swing. Did he go around? No, says Ron Whitting Sr. out in the field. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fink able to hold up on that one. Nobody out, bottom of the second. Here on a beautiful Wednesday night at Consol Energy Park. Just about halfway full here at Consol Energy Park. The 1-2, and that one's low for a ball. Fink wisely lays off, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grant Fink has acquired much more plate discipline as this season has gone on. Here's the 2-2. And Fink fouls this one back to the screen. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Earlier in the season with Fink, we saw him swinging freely at a lot of these pitches. He has since worked with hitting coach Mike Marshall and has been able to calm that down at the plate a little bit, and it's really paid off for him offensively. Simpson has his sign. He's set. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a ground ball to the left side towards the Traverse City dugouts. It'll hit off the netting out there, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grant Fink staying alive here against Tucker Simpson. Back-to-back foul balls here with 2 strikes. Simpson has his sign. He's set, and the 2-2 offering. And that one's low for a ball, so the count fills up now on Grant Fink. Count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Nobody out. On deck man is Justin Garcia. Here's the 3-2. And this ball lined on the left field line pretty deep. It's hooking and will go foul. Hits in that left field corner off the wall out there. So just a long foul ball for Grant Fink. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Didn't quite have the height to get out of here, but did have the extra base hit distance. Simpson 3-2. And this one taking low ball 4. Leadoff walk here for Tucker Simpson in the bottom of the second. First walk for him on the day. And for the second straight inning, the Wild Things have their leadoff man on in this one. It'll bring to the plate Justin Garcia. Garcia so far in the year hitting 130 with 1 home run and 2 RBIs, playing in his 9th game as a Washington Wild Thing. 3 for 23 to start his Wild Things career. Grant Fink the runner at first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. 2-0 Wild Things lead. Simpson looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. This ball fouled back and will go behind the stadium. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Justin Garcia hit his first home run as a Washington Wild Thing in the Wednesday night game against Traverse City back at Werfel Park last Wednesday. Simpson has his sign, holds at the letters. Here's the 0-1. And a swing and a miss there by Garcia. Count now going to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 on the Wild Things DH, batting from the left side against the righty Tucker Simpson. Runner at first is Grant Fink. Fink on the season for the Wild Things currently does not have a stolen base. Fink takes his lead. Simpson holds at the letters and the 0-2. And just outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Justin Garcia. Nobody out, bottom of the second. Garcia batting from the left side, a product of the Houston Astros organization. Simpson has his sign, the 1-2. Fink takes off for second. This pitch hit to right field and deep. W going back a couple of steps now as that ball will lose its carry as it dies in front of the track. W makes the catch, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 away for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the second, and that brings to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far in the year is hitting .219, 1 home run, and 15 RBIs, picking up an RBI in last night's ball game. He's been in that number 9 spot for most of the season for the Wild Things this year. Grant Fink takes his lead from first. Simpson looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And Wobrock takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count of the number 9 hitter in the Wild Things order. 1 man out in this inning as Wobrock trying to bring Fink around. Here's the 1-0, and that one's low as well. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count now on Austin Wobrock. Wobrock getting that average up towards 220. He's really been floating between 215 and 220 over these last couple of weeks. Simpson has his sign. He's set the 2-0, and this ball fouled off by Wobrock. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. On the season, Wobrock's currently tied for third on the team with 21 walks. He and Ricky Rodriguez each have 21. Andrew Heck with 26, and Dave Popkins with 52 on the season. Simpson has his sign. He's set. Here's the 2-1. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner, so the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. In the strikeout department, Wobrock 4th on the team. He has struck out 57 times this season, behind Dave Popkins with 77, Ricky Rodriguez 65, and Grant Fink 62. The pitch and a swing and a miss. Wobrock strikes out, and that's out number 2 here in the bottom of the second. Third strikeout of the day for Tucker Simpson, and it brings to the plate the left fielder Andrew Heck. Heck so far 1 for 1 in this ball game. He would single his first time up, and in Game 2 of the doubleheader against Traverse City yesterday, he would go 1 for 3, reached on an error, walked, struck out, and singled in the ball game. 2 men out, bottom of the second, 2-0 score, Wild Things lead. Simpson has his sign, throw to first, and Grant Fink getting back over there. Fink, no stolen bases on the season yet for the Washington Wild Things. Did take off on that fly ball by Justin Garcia. Simpson set, holds at the letters. Here's the pitch. And Heck hitting this one to center field. Marcus Dirks drifting over a couple of steps to his left, and he's going to make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. So no runs in the inning for the Wild Things on no hits, no errors, and they leave a man on. After 2 here at Consol Energy Park, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the third, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Beach Bums, Will Kendra would walk to lead things off. Stephen Patterson would then strike out. Elijah Trail struck out, and Christian Santisteban flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the third against Chase Cunningham, Gabby Warby with Jeff Debut, and Marcus Dirks, 8, 9, and 1, facing off against Chase Cunningham. Now, Cunningham last time out picked up the loss, but at his longest outing of the season, went 8 innings, gave up 4 runs, all of them earned, on 8 hits, walked 1, and struck out 6. However, he fell to 5 and 9 on the season as the Wild Things did not score a run against Schaumburg, losing that game 5-0. Right now, Cunningham a 2-run lead, and run support has been a thing hard to come by Chase Cunningham on this season. So far in the year, the most runs that the Wild Things have scored for him in a game is 6 runs. That was back on May the 20th against the Lake Erie Crushers. However, a lot of the times they've scored 4 runs or less for him, and he's had to deal with low run support as a 2-run lead here today. And stepping in to lead things off against him is the catcher, Gabby Warby. Warby so far on the year for the Beach Bums is hitting .217 with no homers and 8 RBIs. The pitch, this one popped up foul off to the right, and it'll get back into the seats. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count of the Traverse City Beach Bums catcher. Top of the third, 2-0 Wild Things lead here at Consol Energy Park. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Cunningham's 0-1. And this one lined towards the middle, and that's a base hit. The first hit of the day for the Traverse City Beach Bums, and for the third straight inning, they have that leadoff man on against Chase Cunningham, Gabby Warby, over there at first. That'll bring to the plate the right fielder, Jeff Debu. Debu so far in the year, hitting .218 with 1 home run and 25 RBIs. Nobody out here in the top of the third. A leadoff single there for Warby. As we said, leadoff man has reached all 3 times for Traverse City today. Cunningham has his sign. Here's the pitch. That one's high and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the right fielder for Traverse City. Batting number 9 in the order for the Beach Bums, as he has in every matchup between these two teams this year. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-0. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. For Gabby Warby over there at first base, has 1 steal, has been caught 3 times on the season. Cunningham looking in to Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Here's the 1-1. Throw over to first, and getting back over there is Gabby Warby. Cunningham keeping an eye on him, even though Warby not a big threat to steal here. Still want to make sure he knows that you know he's over there. Cunningham set, holds at the letters. Here's the 1-1. That one's just outside for a ball, and the count now going to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Traverse City's right fielder, Jeff Debu. Debu has been a member of 12 games between these two teams. Played a little bit in center field earlier in the season before Dirk's arrival. Here's the 2-1. That one's outside for a ball, and the count now going to 3 balls and a strike. Cunningham behind Jeff Debu and in danger of allowing the first 2 men to reach here in this inning. Traverse City is yet to have a runner in scoring position here in this ball game early on. Cunningham checks first, has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-1. And this ball hit deep to right. Dave Popkins going back, but this ball will die as well as Popkins makes the catch in front of the track, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 away for the Beach Bums here in the bottom of the third, or top of the third, and that brings to the plate the center fielder Marcus Dirks. Dirks no official at bat in this one to this point. He walked his first time in Game 2 of the doubleheader last night. He would end up going 0 for 2, walked twice, scored a run, struck out, and grounded out in the ball game. 1 man out, bottom of the third. Ball not having a lot of carry here tonight as we have no wind at Consol Energy Park. That's the second fly ball that looked like it had the distance but died out there. The pitch, and that one's a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Cunningham 1 double play on the day as a ground ball pitcher, getting that big double play in the first inning. Ricky Rodriguez playing in on the grass at third base. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Throw over to first, and Gabby Warby back in there. 1 man out here in this top of the third inning as dusk starts to fall over Washington, Pennsylvania. Cunningham has his sign. He's set, and the 0-1. And that one's just outside for a ball. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Marcus Dirks from Chase Cunningham. Righty on lefty matchup. Gabby Warby takes his lead from first. Cunningham has his sign. He's set, and the 1-1. That one's a called strike hitting the outside corner. Count going to 1-2. Cunningham ahead of Marcus Dirks. 2 strikeouts so far on the day for Chase Cunningham. His season high and his career high here in the Frontier League is 6, set last time out. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-2. And that one's outside for a ball. Pollock unable to handle that one as it falls right at his feet. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Cunningham trying to get Dirks to chase a pitch just off the outside part of the plate, but Dirks wisely laying off. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Cunningham looking in. Shakes off the first sign, now checks first, has one he likes, he's set, and the 2-2 offering. That one's outside for a ball, and the count now fills up at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This is the 4th full count of the day for Chase Cunningham. We walked the first 3 batters that got into a full count. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-2. Taking off for second is Warby, and this one fouled off to the left towards the Beach Bums bullpen. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Warby going to have to head back to first base after that foul ball. On deck man for Traverse City's their left fielder Ryan Bacher. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Top of the third, 2-0 Wild Things lead. Cunningham looks in, has his sign, holds at the letters, and the 3-2. Go over to first, and Warby just back in there. Chase Cunningham wanting to make sure Warby's not leaning here with a full count. You're probably going to see Warby take off again as he did a pitch ago, so Cunningham wanted to try to catch him in the act. Cunningham has his sign, the 3-2. Warby takes off for second, and again this ball fouled back to the screen, so once again, Gabby Warby going to have to make that trip back to first. Warby getting a workout out there as he's been running on each of the last 2 pitches, and Dirks fouling off both pitches. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Top of the third, 2-0 Wild Things lead. Cunningham looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs, has what he likes, throw over to first, and Gabby Warby again just back in there, doesn't have to slide. Warby not taking too big of a lead over there at first base, just enough to where he knows he can get back to the base on a throw over. Cunningham has his sign, he's set, here's the 3-2. And this one again fouled off by Marcus Dirks. Count remains 3-2. That time Warby not going on that one. And Dirks the same result as he fouls it off. Marcus Dirks in that leadoff spot for Traverse City. That's where he's been his whole Traverse City career, at least when they've played the Washington Wild Things this season. Cunningham has his sign, the 3-2. And this one fouled back to the screen, so the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. 4 straight foul balls here by Marcus Dirks as he's staying alive against Chase Cunningham here in this one. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Cunningham looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 3-2 pitch. Taking off for seconds, Warby, and again this ball fouled away. So again, Warby going to have to go back to the first base bag. Warby getting a laugh with field umpire Ron Whitting Sr. shaking his head after that foul ball. 5 straight foul balls here by Marcus Dirks. Righty on lefty matchup battle here between Chase Cunningham and Marcus Dirks with 1 man out in this top of the 3rd inning. Cunningham looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 3-2. Warby takes off again, and a swing and a miss. They get him, throw down by Pollock, and it's in time to get Gabby Warby a strike him out, throw him out, double play, and that will end the inning. No runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on just the 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 2.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 3rd, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, Grant Fink would walk to leave things off. Justin Garcia would then fly out before Austin Wobrock struck out, and Andrew Heck flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the 3rd against Tucker Simpson, Chris Grayson, Ricky Rodriguez, and Dave Popkins, 2, 3, and 4 for the Wild Things. Now, Tucker Simpson last time, as we said, a quality start for the Traverse City Beach Bums. It was on August 19th against the Lake Erie Crushers. Went 6 innings in that ball game, gave up 2 runs. Both those runs earned on 8 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 3, picking up his 3rd win of the 2016 season. He has not faced the Washington Wild Things yet in this season, and it's his first year in the Frontier Leagues, only playing in his 9th game for Traverse City. Joined the team in early July, made his debut on July 5th, came out of the bullpen when a scoreless inning of work, giving up 1 hit. Made his first start for the Beach Bums on July 19th against the Gateway Grizzlies. Went 4 in that one, gave up 2 runs. None of those runs were earned and picked up a loss in his Frontier League debut. Stepping in to lead things off against him here in the bottom of the 3rd is the Wild Things center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far in the day is 0 for 1, popped out in his first at-bat. In Game 2 of that doubleheader last night, Grayson would end up going 0 for 3 at a sacrifice bunt, reached on a fielder's choice, and also struck out twice in the ball game. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. 2-0, Wild Things lead. Righty on lefty matchup. Tucker Simpson looking in. Has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Grayson takes this one for a strike at the knees. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. Nobody out, bottom of the third. Simpson's 0-1 offering. That one is just off the outside part of the plate. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Chris Grayson. Grayson from the Sioux Falls Canaries played there earlier this year. Here's the 1-1. This one grounded to the right side and just foul past the diving Christian Santisteban. Just to the right side of that first base bag. Grayson thought it was fair, but he's going to have to step back in the box and do it again. For Chris Grayson, took about a week off of baseball after being released by the Sioux Falls Canaries before joining the Washington Wild Things. Said he was a little rusty getting back into the swing of things, but other than that, it was a pretty smooth transition from the American Association over here to the Frontier League. Simpson has his sign, the 1-2. And that one's outside for a ball. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grayson inches away from a double on that last foul ball. Santisteban just out of his reach. Here's the 2-2. And swinging a bouncer to first. Santisteban handles this one. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the third, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 1 for 1 on the day, singled and scored a run in inning number 1. Rodriguez in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader would end up going 1 for 3, reached on an error, flew out, hit a 2 RBI single, and walked in the ball game. He was the Wild Things offensive star of the game for Game 1 of that doubleheader. The pitch, and Rodriguez takes this one in the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things third baseman. 1 man out here in the bottom of the third. Simpson has his sign, the 0-1. And a check swing there by Rodriguez, but he'll take one at the letters, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count on the Wild Things third baseman. 1 man out in this bottom of the third. Simpson's 0-2 pitch. That one's high and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rodriguez, 1 of 4 All-Stars for the Wild Things on this year's team. Simpson has a 1-2 pitch. And this ball hit towards shallow left center. Coming in is Ryan Bacher. Bacher calls everyone off, and he'll make the catch. That's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the third. And that brings to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 1 on the day. In last night's Game 2 of the doubleheader, he would go 0 for 1, grounded into an RBI, also walked twice, and was hit by a pitch in the ball game. 2 men out, bottom of the third. 2-0 Wild Things lead. Simpson has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things right fielder. 2 men out in this bottom of the third. Simpson's 1-0. And that one's outside as well, so Simpson falling behind Popkins. 2 balls and no strikes. And Popkins, not a guy you want to fall behind, has a lot of power, and if you leave something over the middle, he can drive it. The 2-0. And this ball popped foul off to the left. That'll get back into the bleacher seats here at Consol Energy Park. And the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, 2 men out, bottom of the third. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Wild Things. No runs, 1 hit for the Beach Bums. Here's the 2-1. And that one's outside for a ball. Count now going to 3 balls and a strike on Popkins. 3-1 the count, 2 men out. Tucker Simpson in danger of walking a man with 2 away. Here's the 3-1. And Popkins pops this one up. Shallow left field. Will Kendra going out. He'll be called off by Ryan Bacher. Bacher makes the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the third. And after 3 innings of play here at Consol Energy Park, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the fourth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums, nothing. Last inning for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Gabby Warby would single to lead things off. Jeff Debut would then fly out, and Marcus Dirks struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth, Ryan Bacher, Jose Vargas, and Will Kenger, 2, 3, and 4 against Chase Cunningham. Now, the next home game for the Wild Things this Friday night, a doubleheader with the Joliet Slammers, and it's a fireworks night here at Consol Energy Park. See two great baseball games with a spectacular fireworks display following Game 2. So come out for Friday night fireworks. Wild Things off tomorrow as they start a big series with the Joliet Slammers. 4 games between the top 2 teams in the Frontier League East. For tickets, go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. It's going to be a weekend of fun. Hope we see you here at good old Consol Energy Park. Chase Cunningham finishing his warm-up tosses here. Stepping in to lead things off against him in the top of the fourth is the left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far in the day does not have an at-bat to this point as he walked his first time up. Bacher in Game 2 of that doubleheader went 1 for 4 with a single. Also had an RBI ground out, popped out, and struck out in the ball game. Nobody out, top of the fourth. 2-0 Wild Things lead. Chase Cunningham stepping on the hill, his 4th inning of work. Has his sign he's set. Here's the pitch. And Bacher takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the left fielder for the Traverse City Beach Bums. We've seen a lot of Bacher this year. Done some DHing, has played both corner outfields in the matchups with the Wild Things. The 1-0, that one's low for a ball, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Season series between these two teams, the Wild Things have taken 2 out of 3 games in 2 of the 3 completed series. Traverse City taking 2 out of 3 in that other set. The Wild Things trying to get the series victory here and have the season victory over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Cunningham's 2-1. And this ball ground to the right side. Grant Fink, a diving stop, gets to his feet, throw to first, and Grant Fink, what a play! Going to his left, sprawling out, and making a very good stop there. Fink diving out and robbing Ryan Bacher of a base hit. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the fourth, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far 0 for 1, hitting to a 4-6-3 double play to end that first inning. A great play there by Grant Fink, getting the start at second base here tonight, as he's the regular starting baseman now. The pitch, and Vargas takes that one at the knees for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the designated hitter for Traverse City. 1 man out here in the top of the fourth. Cunningham's 0-1. And a swing and a miss there by Vargas, and right now Cunningham quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes on the day for Cunningham. 3 strikeouts so far against Traverse City. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Cunningham strikes out Jose Vargas, and that's out number 2 here in the top of the fourth. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things. 4th strikeout of the day for Cunningham, and that brings to the plate the shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far, no official at-bat here in this one. Walked his first time in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. Kenger ended up going 1 for 4 with a single, reached on an error, hit into a double play, and struck out. Here's the pitch, and that one's off the inside corner of the plate for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Beach Bums shortstop. Lefty on righty matchup. Chase Cunningham facing off against Kenger. Here's Cunningham's 1-0. And this ball ground to the right side. Charging is Yezo. He'll handle it, take to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Beach Bums here in the fourth. And after 3.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the fourth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums, nothing. Wild Things went 1-2-3 back in the third inning. Chris Grayson grounded out. Ricky Rodriguez flew out, and Dave Popkins flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth against Tucker Simpson, Jimmy Yezzo, Kyle Pollock, and Grant Fink, 5, 6, and 7 against the right-hander Simpson here in this one. Wild Things, as we said, starting a big series with the Joliet Slammers over the weekend. Currently, the Wild Things are second place in the Frontier League East, sit just 3 games back of the Joliet Slammers. So it is crucial that the Wild Things get a win here tonight, as they can stay at least 3 games behind the Joliet Slammers going into that 4-game series. Tonight, the Joliet Slammers are going to be taking on, actually they were rained out in Windy City. That game postponed to August 25th. So the Wild Things trying to get a win. If they win, it'll be 2.5 out. If they lose, it'll be 3.5 out. So still a big series coming up with Joliet over the weekend. That brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 1 for 1. That big 2 RBI double in inning number 1 that's given the Wild Things the lead. Simpson has his sign, the pitch, and Yezzo takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Yezzo in Game 2 of the doubleheader last night went 1 for 4 with a double. Also struck out and grounded out the pitch, and that one swung on a miss. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Yezzo, the first baseman for the Washington Wild Things. His backup is actually the second baseman, Grant Fink. Here's Simpson's 0-2. And a swing and a miss at a high fastball. Yezzo strikes out, and there's quickly one away here in the bottom of the fourth. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far in the day, 0 for 1 with a strikeout in last night's Game 2 of the doubleheader. Pollock went 1 for 4, a solo home run, his 3rd home run of the year. Also reached on an error, flew out, and lined out in the ball game. Looking in as Tucker Simpson has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Pollock pops this one up. Left side, giving chase is Elijah Trail, drifting over to foul territory. He'll be called off by Will Kenger, and Kenger makes the catch. That's in time for out number 2. So quickly 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom half of the fourth, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far, no official at-bat in this ball game. Walked his first time, made a very good defensive play in the top half of this fourth inning, robbing Ryan Bacher of a base hit on a diving stop at second base. 2 men out top of the fourth. Tucker Simpson looking in. Simpson has his sign. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And that one's at the knees for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. Tucker Simpson pounding the strike zone here in this fourth inning. Something we hadn't seen him do earlier in this ball game. He's gotten his confidence as we've gone later into the game. Here's the 0-1. And that one's a called strike of the knees. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Fink. 2 men out. Bottom of the fourth. 2-0 Wild Things lead. Simpson's 0-2 pitch. And that one's high and outside for a ball. Warby jumping out of the crouch to make that catch. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Grant Fink, a product of the Cleveland Indians organization. Here's Simpson's 1-2. And swinging a ground ball to third. Elijah Trail handles it. He'll throw on to first. And a nice pick by Santisteban at first base. And that will end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the fourth. And after 4 here in Washington, Pennsylvania, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 2. Traverse City Beach Bums, nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, First in Turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, First in Turf.
We're back here in the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the fifth, and the score. Your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Beach Bums against Cunningham. They would go 1-2-3. Ryan Bacher robbed of a base hit on a very nice diving stop by Grant Fink for out number 1. Jose Vargas would then strike out, and Will Kenger grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the fifth, Stephen Patterson, Elijah Trail, and Christian Santisteban, 5, 6, and 7 against Chase Cunningham. Now, Cunningham in his second year of professional ball. First year with the Washington Wild Things. A year ago, he pinched for the Lincoln Salt Dogs. He went 0-4 with the Salt Dogs with a 4.91 ERA in 6 starts. Gave up 52 hits, 25 runs in 40 and a third innings of work. Also struck out 15 and walked 9. So even there, not a big strikeout guy. Same sort of numbers with the Wild Things. 5-9 with a 4.56 ERAs. That ERA's been in the mid-4s for both years of his professional career. 28 walks and 41 strikeouts in 86 and 2/3 innings of work. Cunningham, so far so good here. No runs, just 1 hit through 4+ innings, and stepping in to lead things off against him is the second baseman, Steven Patterson. Patterson so far 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. This one grounded to first. Yazzo going to handle it on a hop. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 1. So quickly 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums in this top half of the 5th inning, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail so far in this one 0 for 1. Struck out in his last at-bat. Trail last night in Game 2 of the doubleheader went 1 for 3, walked, singled, and struck out twice in the ball game. Cunningham set. Here's the pitch. And Trail takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. For both of these starting pitchers, it seems as we've gotten later into the game, they've really started to find their groove out on the mound. Here's the 1-0. And this ball hit deep to left. It's hooking, and that'll go foul into the lawn area. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just a long strike 1 for Elijah Trail. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 man out. Trail standing in there at 6'3", 227. He's a native of Bakersfield, California. Cunningham's 1-1. And a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Cunningham 4 strikeouts so far on the day. 2 away from his career high of 6 last start out. Cunningham has his sign, the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Elijah Trail strikes out, and that's out number 2. 5th strikeout of the day for Chase Cunningham, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Christian Santisteban. Santisteban so far 0 for 1, flew out in his first at-bat, and in Game 2 of that doubleheader, he did not play. Giancarlo Bergoni got the start at first. Bergoni would go 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, also walked twice in the game. 2 outs, Cunningham's pitch, and Santisteban takes this one low in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Top of the 5th, 2-0 Wild Things lead here over the Beach Bums. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Cunningham's 1-0. And this one lined to the left side past the diving Rodriguez, and that'll get to the corner. Santisteban around first. He's heading to second. Andrew Heckel fielded out in the corner, and it's a 2-out double for Christian Santisteban. It's the first time today that the Traverse City Beach Bums have had a runner in scoring position as Santisteban stands out there, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Gabby Warby. Warby so far in the day, 1 for 1, singled in his first at-bat. Kendall Patrick would catch Game 2 of the doubleheader. Patrick went 0 for 4 with a strikeout, hit no fielder's choice, flew out and added another strikeout on the day. Kyle Pollock going out to talk to Chase Cunningham just for a second or two to try and say, okay, you're fine, let's regroup and get this last out. Warby standing in. Cunningham looks into Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks that runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And a check swing there by Warby, but he went around, says Brian Miller, behind home plate. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Beach Bums catcher. Chase Cunningham looking in. Cunningham now he'll step off as he wants to go through the signs once more. Christian Santisteban doubled with 2 men out. He's over at second base for Traverse City. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Holds with the letters and the 0-1. And this one hit towards right field. Dave Popkins not having to move at all as he's camped under it. He'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 1 man on. After 4.5 here at Consol Energy Park, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 5th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things, they would go 1-2-3 against Tucker Simpson. as Simpson would strike out Jimmy Yezzo for the first out. Kyle Pollock would then pop out, and Grant Fink would ground out to end the inning. Due up here in the 5th, Justin Garcia, Austin Wobrock, and Andrew Heck, 8, 9, and 1, facing off against Tucker Simpson. Now, Simpson's been around in terms of pro ball, only 2 years in professional baseball, but has played for a combined 4 teams, was in the Miami Marlins organization, played in rookie ball, low A, and advanced A baseball. Combined there in one season, had no record, a 1.59 ERA, appeared in 10 games out of the bullpen, 28 in the third inning, struck out 24, and walked only 9 in those 28 in the third innings. And so far this year, for the Traverse City Beach Bums, 3-3 with a 2.91 ERA. Tucker Simpson was drafted originally by the Baltimore Orioles in the 39th round of the 2014 MLB Amateur Draft. So he's in now for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Leading off things against him here in this bottom of the 5th is the designated hitter, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far 0 for 1 in the game. He flew out in his first at-bat back in inning number 2. Garcia did not play in either game of the doubleheader last night. Kyle Pollock did the DHing in game 2 of that doubleheader, and the DH in game 1 was Alvaro Gonzalez. So Justin Garcia stepping in, batting from the left side against Tucker Simpson. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th. Simpson looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Garcia. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things designated hitter, the tall left-hander, as Garcia standing in at 6'3", 235. Here's the 0-1. This one fouled back to the screen, and the count now going to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Garcia. Nobody out, bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Wild Things lead. Garcia batting from the left side against the righty Tucker Simpson. Simpson has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Count going to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wild Things have changed first base coaches from the beginning of the ball game. Now hitting coach Mike Marshall out there at first base. Here's Simpson's 1-2. And that one's low for a ball. Picked in the dirt there by Gabby Warby, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Warby's been very good defensively behind the plate for Traverse City. Have not seen any balls get by him in either of the 2 games he's started. Here's the 2-2, and this one fouled back to the screen, so the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Garcia just on that one, but swinging underneath of it and getting the bottom of the baseball, lining it back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Garcia played in the Houston Astros organization in rookie ball for the Greenville Astros earlier this season. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Simpson has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And this one fouled back, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Garcia 2 straight foul balls as the count remains even at 2-2. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 5th. 2-0 Wild Things lead. They got their 2 runs in this game in the bottom of the 1st, and you'd like to think that you'd love to add on here in these middle innings as those 2 runs might not be able to hold up. But the way Chase Cunningham's pitching right now, they very well could. So we'll see if the Wild Things can add on. The 2-2 and a swing and a miss. Garcia strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in this one, as that is strikeout number 5 on the day for Tucker Simpson. Coming to the plate now, the shortstop is Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 0 for 1 here in this one. Struck out in his first at-bat. Wobrock in game 2 of that doubleheader went 1 for 4 with an RBI double. Also reached on an error and struck out twice in the ball game. 1 man out. Looking in as Simpson. Here's the pitch. And that one's inside for a ball. Wobrock jumping out of the way of that one. And the count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Here's Simpson's pitch. And a swing and a miss. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Austin Wobrock. That long flowing hair from the Wild Things shortstop lets it hang out of his batting helmet. The 1-1. And this one fouled back into the seats. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on the Wild Things shortstop. Batting from the left side. Hits in the number 9 hole for the Wild Things on the season. Talking to him earlier in the year, says he loves hitting down in that number 9 hole. He really thrives there, likes the opportunity to drive runs in. Here's the 1-2, and a called strike 3. Wobrock strikes out, and that's out number 2. So Simpson strikes out the first too many faces here in this 5th inning. 6 strikeout of the day for Tucker Simpson. 6 strikeout of the day for Simpson, and that brings to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in the day, 1 for 2, singled and scored a run in the first, and flew out in inning number 2, now up here in the 5th. Heck was in the leadoff spot for both games of yesterday's doubleheader. The pitch, and that one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Andrew Heck in that leadoff spot. We're talking to him way earlier in the year. Says he's comfortable up there, likes to be the guy who gets things started for the Wild Things. The 1-0, that one lined to the seats foul, and the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Well, it's Heck's fourth year with this Washington Wild Things team. Started his career back in the 2012 season. The 1-1, and that one's up and in. Heck having to turn out of the way of that one. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 balls and a strike, Heck doesn't like that one. So we'll have to step back in against Simpson. Simpson back-to-back 1-2-3 innings in the 3rd and 4th. Heck trying to avoid that here in the 5th. The 2-1, and that one's outside for a ball. So the count now goes to 3-1 on the Wild Things left fielder. 3 balls and a strike, 2 men out. Andrew Heck now the everyday left fielder for the Wild Things. Here's the 3-1 offering. And that one's inside, ball 4. So it's a 2-out walk here from Tucker Simpson. That puts Andrew Heck on base with 2 outs and brings up the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 2, popped out in the 1st and grounded out in inning number 3. 2 men out here in the bottom half of the 5th. 2-0 Wild Things lead. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Wild Things. No runs on 2 hits for the Traverse City Beach Bums. 2 men out. Grayson hits from the left side. Chris Grayson just named the Week 15 Hitter of the Week here in the Frontier League. Went 11 for 24 last week, including a 6 for 12 outing against the Schaumburg Boomers in that 3-game series. Here's the pitch, and Grayson takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things center fielder, Andrew Heck over at first base. Heck has 7 steals on the year for the Wild Things. Simpson has his sign, the 1-0. And that one's in the dirt for a ball. Count now going to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Chris Grayson has been around minor league baseball for a little bit. Played 3 years in the Texas Rangers organization before joining the Sioux Falls Canaries earlier this season. Simpson has his sign, the 2-0. And that one's a called strike this time, just hitting that outside corner. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike here on Chris Grayson. 2-1 the count with 2 men out. Simpson has his sign. He's set. Holds the letters and a throw over to first. Andrew Heck back in there. Heck got a stolen base in Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. His 7th stolen base of the year. Picked that one up in the bottom of the 5th after his single. Simpson has his sign. Here's the 2-1. Heck takes off for second. Pitch swung on a ground to left side. Base hit. Heck's going to have to stop at second. A perfectly placed base hit there by Chris Grayson. And there's runners at first and second for your Wild Things with 2 out. Ricky Rodriguez come to the plate. Will Kenger had to evade his shortstop position as he tried to cover second on the stolen base by Andrew Heck. And Grayson placing that ground ball right where Kenger had been at the start of that windup. So there's runners at first and second now with 2 men out. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate. Rodriguez so far in the day 1 for 2. Singled and scored a run in the first and flew out in inning number 3. Tucker Simpson looking in. Simpson has his sign. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And Rodriguez takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things third baseman. 2 men out in this bottom of the 5th inning. Simpson going through the signs with Gabby Warby. Has one he likes. He's set. Checks Heck at second. Here's the 0-1. And this ball fouled off back to the screen. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez, the Los Angeles, California native. A huge Dodger fan. Has a Dodgers phone case and talks about the Dodgers a lot around the clubhouse. So it's always fun to get into debates with him about MLB teams. Simpson has his sign. Checks second. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Rodriguez strikes out, and that will end the inning. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on just 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 5 innings of play here at Consol Energy Park, the score: your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple: with expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 6th, and the score: your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Stephen Patterson would ground out to lead things off. Elijah Trail would strike out before Christian Santisteban came through with a 2-out double. That was the first time the Traverse City had a runner in scoring position in this ball game. And then Gabby Warby would fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th against Cunningham, Jeff Debut, Marcus Dirks, and Ryan Bacher. 9-1-2 for the Traverse City Beach Bums. So far, so good in the night for Chase Cunningham. So far, 5 innings of work, has not given up a run on just 2 hits, has walked 3 men, and has struck out 5 in the ballgame. Chase Cunningham set his career high for strikeouts his last time out against the Schaumburg Boomers, striking out 6 in 8 innings of work. Those 8 innings of work was also a career high for him, so it's 1 away from that career high, and currently trying to work on extending that innings pitched career high on his Frontier League career. Stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the 6th is the right fielder, Jeff Debut. Debut so far in the day, 0 for 1, flew out in inning number 3. Nobody out top of the 6th. Debut in last night's game 2 of the doubleheader would end up going 1 for 2 with a double, also flew out and walked in the ball game. Here's Cunningham's pitch, and that one's a called strike at the knees. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Beach Bums right fielder. Lefty on righty matchup. Cunningham has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And that one's inside and low. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cunningham tried to get him to chase a curveball there on the 0-1 pitch as that one started right on the inside corner of the plate and then sharply broke down at the last second. Here's Cunningham's 1-1. And this ball popped up. Foul territory off to the left. That'll get back into the seats. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count on the leadoff man here in the top of the 6th for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Wild Things looking for a series win, trying to get back over 500 to be the first time over 500 since late June. The 1-2, this one lined into right field, and that'll get down and roll towards the corner. Debut around first, heading to second. Popkins cuts it off before it gets to the wall, but his throw back in is much too late. It's a leadoff double for Jeff Debut. Traverse City has a runner at second with nobody out, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far 0 for 1, walked in the first, and struck out in inning number 3. Second time today that the Beach Bums have had a runner in scoring position. In total in the ballgame, they've had their leadoff man reach in 4 out of the 6 innings to this point. Stepping in now is Marcus Dirks, the leadoff man. Debut takes his lead from second. Chase checks him out there. Here's the pitch. And that one's called strike on the inside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the center fielder for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Marcus Dirks, in his first year with the Beach Bums, was signed in early July. Cunningham has his sign. He's set, checks second. Here's the 0-1. That one's in the dirt, blocked there by Kyle Pollock, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, we were talking about the defensive ability of Gabby Warby earlier in the ballgame, but Kyle Pollock just as good behind the plate. Doesn't let many balls get by him, and he's very good at controlling the running games. We saw him throw out Marcus Dirks, stealing earlier in the game. Cunningham has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And this ball grounded to short. Austin Wobrock handles it on a hop, looks the man back to second, throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 away here in the top of the 6th. That runner still stands on second base, and it brings to the plate the left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far 0 for 1, walked in the first, and was robbed of a base hit on a very nice diving play by Grant Fink in the top of the 4th. 1 man out, top of the 6th. 2-0 Wild Things lead. Bacher stepping in. The runner at second, Jeff Debut. He doubled the lead off this inning as he hustled out of the box and got a hustle double. Cunningham looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher starting his second game in this 3-game series. Cunningham looks in. Has his sign. He's set. Holds to the letters. Checks Debut at second. And the 0-1. This one's taken just low for a ball. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Ryan Bacher. Bacher is in his second season with the his first season with Traverse City. Played for the Houston Astros organization a year ago. Cunningham set. Here's the 1-1. And that one's outside for a ball. Count now going to 2 balls and 1 strike. Wild Things have quite a few names who were in the Houston Astros organization. Christian Powell, a member of the Astros organization. Also Justin Garcia. And former Wild Things Zach Groats spent some time with the Astros single-A clubs. Cunningham has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And this one fouled off at the plate. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Wild Things have actually had 2 men picked up by Major League Baseball teams here on this season. So that's just a testament to how well they've been playing this year. Trevor Foss was signed by the Cleveland Indians, and Zach Rhodes had his contract purchased by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Chase Cunningham looking in. Cunningham going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second. Here's the 2-2. This ball lined on the right field line and foul, so the count will remain even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count with one man out here in the top of the 6th. There is a runner at second for the Traverse City Beach Bums as Jeff Dubuque doubled to lead things off. Chase Cunningham looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Cunningham going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 2-2. And that one's high for a ball. Count now going to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Full count here on Ryan Bacher. The on-deck man is Jose Vargas. Zach Groats currently playing for the Ogden Raptors, the single-A team for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Chase Cunningham looks in. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Checks second. Here's the 3-2. And this ball hit the right field. Dave Popkins coming in on it now. He's going to make the catch, and that's in time for out number 2. Jeff Dubuque stays right where he is at second base. So there's still a runner at second with 2 men out, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far 0 for 2, hitting to a 4-6-3 double play in the first, and struck out in inning number 4. 2 men out here in this top of the 6th. 2-0 Wild Things lead. As a look at Zach Groats' numbers for those Ogden Raptors, Groats 1-0, no ERA. He's appeared in one game, thrown 3 innings of work, and given up just 1 hit. So Groats so far so good in his professional career. That first pitch, and that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count on Jose Vargas. Vargas, the designated hitter for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Cunningham set, holds the letters, checks second. Here's the 1-0. And this ball popped up. Center field, Chris Grayson drifting over now into left center field, and he's going to make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. So the Traverse City Beach Bums get that leadoff double, but nothing comes out of it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 5.5 innings here at Consol Energy Park, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 6th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, they would get 2 men on, but would not be able to score in the inning. Justin Garcia struck out to lead things off, then Austin Wobrock would strike out before Andrew Heck walked. Chris Grayson singled with 2 outs, put runners at first and second, and Ricky Rodriguez would strike out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th, Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, and Kyle Pollock, 4, 5, and 6, facing off against Tucker Simpson. Simpson so far has just given up those 2 runs in his 5 innings of work, giving up just 4 hits, has walked just 2 men in this ball game, and has struck out 7 up to this point. Tucker Simpson on the year, his season high in strikeouts is 7. That was back on July 30th against the Evansville Otters. So looking to set a new career high here in the Frontier League for Tucker Simpson. Stepping to lead things off against him here in the bottom of the 6th is the right fielder Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 2, struck out in the first and flew out in inning number 3. Nighttime falling over Consol Energy Park here in Washington, Pennsylvania. Bottom of the 6th, Wild Things have scored 2 runs in the first and have not been able to come back and score any more runs since that first inning. Tucker Simpson looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Popkins takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 on the Wild Things right fielders. Only missed 1 game this year for the Wild Things back on June the 12th. The 0-1, and that one's in there for a strike. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Simpson quickly getting ahead of Dave Popkins. Has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-1. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Dave Popkins as Simpson behind the 2-1, and that one swung on a miss, and the count evens up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Dave Popkins, the switch hitter, batting from the left side against the righty Tucker Simpson. Simpson's 2-2 offering, and this ball hit towards left field. Going back on it, Ryan Bacher, and he's going to make the catch on the track. That's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the 6th, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far in the day, 1 for 2, a 2 RBI double back in the first, and struck out in inning number 4. Yezzo, that 2 RBI double, the only offense for your Washington Wild Things so far in this ballgame. Those were RBIs number 37 and 38 on the year for Yezzo. Simpson has his sign, the pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo, the primary first baseman for the Wild Things. Here's the 1-0 from Simpson. And this ball popped up. Left side, foul territory. Elijah Trail going over, and he's going to make the catch on the warning track there in foul territory, and that is out number 2. Quickly 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things in this bottom of the 6th, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far 0 for 2, struck out in the first and popped out in inning number 4. 2 men out here in the bottom of the 6th, 2-0. Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Pollock, the primary catcher for the Washington Wild Things, spent time in single A with the Kansas City Royals earlier last season. The pitch, and that one's just outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things catcher. Righty on righty matchup, the 1-0. And this one grounded foul off to the left over towards the dugout of the Traverse City Beach Bums. And the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Pollock getting a piece of that one on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Simpson has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-1. And that one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Pollock having to jump out of the way of that one to avoid getting hit. 2 balls and a strike. Simpson hasn't hit a man yet. It's just walked 2 in this ball game. Here's the 2-1, and time is called right before that 2-1 pitch. And Tucker Simpson not liking the fact that Kyle Pollock called time there. Said a few words to Pollock as he came off of the mound. 2 balls and a strike, 2 men out, and Simpson not very happy about that, as we said. Pollock stepping back in. Simpson looks in, has his sign. Here's the 2-1. And this ball popped up. Foul back behind the plate, and the count evens out at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Kyle Pollock. That one hitting the bleacher seats right under the press box here at Consol Energy Park. Simpson has his sign. Here's the 2-2. And this one's outside for a ball. Bounces as Gabby Warby has that one trickle away from him a little bit. And the count fills up at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 men out here in the inning for the Washington Wild Things. Simpson looking for his third 1-2-3 inning here in the ball game. Had 1-2-3 innings back in the 3rd and 4th. Simpson looks in, has his sign. He's set. And the 3-2. Swing and a pop-up. Shallow right field. Going out is Steven Patterson. Patterson calls everyone off, and he'll make the catch. That's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in inning number 6. And after 6 innings of baseball, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 7th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Beach Bums, Jeff W. would double lead off the inning, then Marcus Dirks grounded out, Ryan Bacher flew out, and Jose Vargas would fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the 7th for the Beach Bums, Will Kenger, Steven Patterson, and Elijah Trail, 4, 5, and 6 for Traverse City. Chase Cunningham has been very good today. This is one of his best starts here in the 2016 season. Just 3 hits through 6 innings of work so far today, and no sign of slowing down against these Traverse City Beach Bums. No Beach Bum has more than 1 hit in this ballgame. The 3 hits held by Christian Santisteban, Gabby Warby, and Jeff Debut, the holders of those 3 hits. Cunningham, the lowest amount of hits he's given up on the season is 3 hits. That was back on August the 9th. Actually, 2 hits, back on June 29th against Gateway. Went 6 shutout innings in that one when what would eventually be a Wild Things loss as Gateway came back. That was game 2 of a doubleheader. Gateway would win that one by the score of 2-1. So stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the 7th is the shortstop Will Kenger. Kenger so far on the day 0 for 1, walked in the second and grounded out in inning number 4. Chase Cunningham looking for 7 scoreless innings here in this one. No sign of action in the bullpen. Here's Cunningham's pitch, and that one's way inside for a ball. Kenger having to jump out of the way of that one. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Nobody out top of the 7th. Here's Cunningham's 1-0. This one grounded towards first, past the diving Jimmy Yezzo, a fair ball. Kenger around first, heading to second. Popkins going to the corner, retrieving this one. Kenger thinking 3. Here comes the throw, and Will Kenger is in there with a lead-off triple. That spells trouble for the Wild Things right out of the gate here in the top of the 7th. As it's a lead-off triple for Will Kenger. First time the Beach Bums have had a runner at third here in this ball game with nobody out, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Steven Patterson. Patterson so far 0 for 2, struck out in the second and grounded out in inning number 5. 2-0 Wild Things lead. That lead could be in jeopardy right now, though, as a runner at third with nobody out. That could cut the lead in half. Cunningham has his sign, checks third. Here's the pitch. That one is just off the outside corner for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. With that triple action in the Wild Things bullpen as Colin Stanley starts to warm up out there. On the other side for Traverse City, a right-hander loosens as well. The 1-0, and this ball hit towards right field. Dave Popkins going back on it a couple of steps towards the track. He'll camp under and make the catch. Tagging and scoring will be Will Kenger, so that makes the lead 2-1 now, Washington Wild Things. Kenger scores easily. A sacrifice fly by Steven Patterson. For Patterson, that is RBI, number 57 on the year, leads the club in that category. So now 2-1 the score between your Wild Things and the Beach Bums, and with nobody on and 1 man out, that brings to the plate the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail so far 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Cunningham looking into Kyle Pollock, has his sign. Here's the pitch. Trail showing bunt, but will pull this one back and take a strike. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count. Fun fact here with Elijah Trail at the plate. Elijah Trail and Wild Things second baseman Grant Fink played on the same travel baseball team when they were 11 years old. The 0-1 grounded to third. Rodriguez handles it, throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 outs here for the Beach Bums. They did have a run in the inning on the sac fly by Steven Patterson, and that'll bring to the plate the first baseman Christian Santisteban. Santisteban so far on the year, 1 for 2, flew out in the second and doubled in inning number 5. 2 men out, top of the 7th, 2-1 Wild Things lead over the Beach Bums. Cunningham has his sign, the pitch, and this ball hit towards left. Andrew Heck coming in now, and he will make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. However, the Beach Bums do get a run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 6.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same old's true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 7th, and the score. Your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums 1. New pitcher on for the Beach Bums, as it'll be right-hander Rob Blanc. Blanc so far in the year, a record of 1-1, a 3.08 ERA, appearing in his 21st game, making his 7th start. Has thrown 46 and 2/3 innings of work, giving up 36 hits, 16 runs, all of them earned, 28 walks, and 39 strikeouts for Blanc on the season. Due up to face him here in the bottom of the 7th for the Wild Things is their 7, 8, and 9 men, Grant Fink, Justin Garcia, and Austin Wobrock. Last inning, the Wild Things would go 1-2-3 as Dave Popkins flew out, Jimmy Yezzo popped out, and Kyle Pollock popped out to end the inning. Now, Rob Blanc made an appearance last night in Game 2 of the doubleheader for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Blanc would go 2 innings, not giving up a run on 1 hit, walked 2, and struck out 3. One of 4 pitchers used by the Beach Bums in that ball game. Stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th is the second baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far is 0 for 1, walked in the second, and grounded out in inning number 4. 7, 8, and 9 due up in this bottom of the 7th. Wild Things looking to add on to their slim 1-run lead. They've scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first and have been held off the board ever since. 2-1 they lead over the Beach Bums. Rob Blanc looking in. Blanc has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Fink takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things second baseman. Rob Blanc, as we said, in last night. Blanc, in his second season with Traverse City, has his sign. He's set in the 0-1. That one's outside for a ball, and the count now evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Blanc spent parts of the season with 3 teams last year. Spent some time with the Normal Corn Belchers, Lake Erie Crushers, and Traverse City Beach Bums. Combined went 2-5 for the 3 teams. The 1-1, and this ball hit foul by Grant Fink back into the seats. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Blanc, his last time out was against the Wild Things last night, but before that, on August 21st, faced the Lake Erie Crushers, won a scoreless inning in that one, giving up just 1 hit. Blanc looks into his catcher, Gabby Warby, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Holds at the belt, and the pitch on the way. And this ball hit towards left center field and deep. Going back is Blocker to the wall, and this one will hop off the wall. Fink around first, heading to second, and he's going to be in there with a leadoff double. An extra base hit for the Washington Wild Things, and that's actually the first time the Wild Things have had a runner in scoring position since way back in inning number 1. So they have a runner at second with nobody out on that double by Grant Fink, and it brings to the plate the designated hitter Justin Garcia. Garcia so far 0 for 2. Flew out in inning number 2 and struck out in inning number 6. Nobody out, bottom of the 7th, and Wild Things in business right away against right-hander Rob Blanc. Blanc coming in for his first inning of relief, relieving the starter, Tucker Simpson. Simpson's final line in this one, he went 6, gave up 2 runs, both earned, on 4 hits, walked 2, and struck out 7. Gabby Warby going out to the plate, or out to the mound, to talk to his pitcher, Rob Blanc, try to calm him down after that leadoff double. Colin Stanley was warming up in the Wild Things bullpen in the top half of that 7th inning. Stanley is still standing out there ready to go. Rob Blanc looking in. Blanc has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one taken for a strike on the outside corner by Garcia. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Big insurance run standing out there at second base for your Washington Wild Things. Just a slim 1-run lead here in this bottom of the 7th inning. Blanc looks in, has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner out there, and the 0-1. And this ball fouled back, hits off the concrete barrier behind home plate, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count, nobody out for the Wild Things. Their runner at second is their first runner in scoring position since back in the first inning. The 5th inning is the last time they had the runner in scoring position. Heck was on second, Grayson was on first. So Grant Fink takes his lead from second. Looking in is Rob Blanc. Blanc going through the signs with Gabby Warby. Has his sign, he's set. Holds at the letters, and the 0-2 offering. And that one's high for a ball as Warby leaping out of his crouch to make that catch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rob Blanc trying to get the swing and a miss on the high fastball after working Garcia low in the zone for the first 2 pitches of the at-bat. Grant Fink takes his lead from second. Blanc looking in. Has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's low for a ball. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Justin Garcia. Bats from the left side against the right-handed pitcher, Rob Blanc. Garcia joined the Wild Things team 2 weeks ago, right before they played the Lake Erie Crushers back on August 9th. Rob Blanc looks in, has his sign, he's set. Checks second, and the 2-2. And that one's outside and low for a ball. Warby picking that one in the dirt. And the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. So for Rob Blanc, not a very good start to this bottom of the 7th, giving up that leadoff double to Grant Fink. And now behind Justin Garcia, 3-2. Austin Warbrock awaits on deck for the Wild Things. Blanc looking in, going through his signs, has one he likes, he's set. Checks second, here's the 3-2. And that one's inside, ball 4, gets away from Gabby Warby, and that's going to allow Grant Fink to move up to third after that wild pitch. So now there are runners at first and third following the walk to Justin Garcia, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 0 for 2, struck out in the second and struck out in inning number 5. Number 9 hitter for the Wild Things. Justin Garcia walks, he's at first. Grant Fink doubled and then moved up on that wild pitch. He's over at third base. Wild Things threatening here in the bottom of the 7th, trying to add on to their 1-run lead. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Wild Things. 1 run, 4 hits for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Blanc has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. This ball fouled off to the left, back into the seats, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things. Shortstop was second on the team in RBIs a year ago, had 31 RBIs behind Dave Popkins, who had 46. Currently 15 RBIs this year, good for 5th on the team. Blanc has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-1. And a ground ball to the left side, just foul, and almost a nice barehanded pick by manager Greg Langvan over there. Bobbles the ball, however, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Almost gave our manager some style points out there, but he ended up dropping the ball, and third baseman Elijah Trail making fun of him for it. Rob Blanc looks in, going through the signs. Blanc checks first, has a sign he likes, he's set. Holds at the letters, and the 0-2 offering. And inside and gets Austin Wobrock. Get him right in the middle of the ribs. It's a hit by pitch, and that'll load the bases with Wild Things here with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. And that brings up the center fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in this game, 1 for 2. Single in the first, flew out in the second, and walked in inning number 5. Bases full, Wild Things here in the bottom of the 7th. Nobody out, and Heck a big opportunity to add on for your Washington Wild Things. Grant Fink at third, Justin Garcia at second, and Austin Wobrock over at first as the first 3 men have reached here against Blanc in the inning. Blanc looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. Heck, a ground ball to the left side, foul past the third base coaching box, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count on Andrew Heck. There is action in the Traverse City bullpen. James Ball warming up out there in case Blanc can't make it through this inning. Blanc has not gotten an out here to this point. Blanc looking in to Gabby Warby. Has his sign, he's set, checks the runner at third. Here's the 0-1. And that one's inside for a ball. Heck having to kind of suck his gut in out of the way of that one, and the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count, nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Heck batting from the right side against the righty, Rob Blanc. Blanc has his sign, he's set, checks third, and the 1-1 offering. This one grounded to second. Patterson has it to second for 1 on to first, and in time for the double play. Meanwhile, Grant Fink comes around to score, so the Wild Things do extend their lead. It's now 3-1, so a productive double play there for Andrew Heck as the Traverse City Beach Bums trade 2 outs for a run. Fink comes in to score. It's a 4-6-3 double play, and now with 2 outs here in this bottom of the 7th inning and a runner at third, that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far in the day is 1 for 3, popped out in the first, grounded out in the third, and singled in inning number 5. Right now, just a runner at third for the Wild Things. 2 men out. That runner at third is Justin Garcia. Grayson stepping in. 3-1 Wild Things lead. Blanc has his sign. He's set in the pitch. Grayson raises his arms and takes this one in the inside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things center fielder. No RBI for Andrew Heck on that double play ball, but he does do the job getting the run in. Blanc has his sign. He's set, checks third. Here's the 0-1. And that one's high for a ball. Warby jumping out of the crouch to make that catch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gabby Warby behind the plate a shorter catcher, 5'8", 190, so having to leap up for some of these pitches up in the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blanc has his sign. Here's the 1-1 offering. And this ball popped up. Foul territory on the left side. Elijah Trail going over towards his dugout, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. However, the Wild Things do get a run in the inning on just 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 7 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Traverse City 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 8th, and the score, your Wild Things 3, Traverse City 1. New pitcher on for the Washington Wild Things as it's right-hander Colin Stanley. Stanley so far in the year has a record of 3-1, currently 3 saves on the season, a 3.07 ERA. Appearing in his 32nd game, has thrown 41 innings of work. You have 34 hits, 17 runs, 14 earned on 12 walks, and 36 strikeouts on the year for Colin Stanley. Stepping in to lead things off against him here in this top of the 8th inning is, the catcher, Gabby Warby. Warby so far is 1 for 2 here in the ball game. Looking in is Colin Stanley. Stanley has his sign, the pitch, and that one's swinging a miss on a high fastball, and the count goes to no balls and a strike on Warby. So Chase Cunningham goes 7 here in this ball game, gives up just the 1 run. It was earned on 4 hits for the Beach Bums. Here's Stanley's 0-1, and this one fouled back to the screen. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count on the night. Chase Cunningham striking out 5 and walking 3 for the Washington Wild Things. He is the pitcher of record for the Wild Things so far here in this one. Stanley has his sign. He's set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Stanley strikes out Gabby Warby. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 8th inning. So the first man retired here for the Traverse City Beach Bums, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Jeff Debu. Debu so far in the day, 1 for 2, flew out in the 3rd, and doubled in inning number 6. 1 man out here in the top half of the 8th. Colin Stanley in his 2nd year with the Washington Wild Things. Last season went 0-1 with a 1.24 ERA in 16 games. Here's the pitch. And this ball hit the center. Chris Grayson coming in, and he makes the running catch for out number 2. Grayson showing impressive speed out there in center field to be able to stay with that one. And it's 2 up, 2 down for the Beach Bums here in the top of the 8th. Brings to the plate the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far in the day is 0 for 2. Walked in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, and grounded out in inning number 6. 2 men out here in the top of inning number 8. Wild Things lead 3-1 over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Colin Stanley looking into his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Righty on lefty matchup, Casey Rodriguez pinch hitting now for Marcus Dirks. The pitch, and this one fouled off to the left side. Count goes to no balls and a strike. So Marcus Dirks' day is done as Casey Rodriguez, the pinch hitter. No balls and a strike, 2 men out. Colin Stanley's retired the first 2 men he's faced here in this inning. Here's the 0-1, and Rodriguez takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. For Rodriguez on the season, currently hitting .211 with 1 home run and 11 RBIs. So Rodriguez in for Marcus Dirks. Stanley's 1-1, and this ball grounded to short. Wobrock handles it on a hop. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 go the Beach Bums here in the 8th, and after 7.5 the score. Your Washington Wild Things 3, Traverse City Beach Bums 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball going to the bottom of the 8th. And the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Traverse City Beach Bums 1. New pitcher on for the Beach Bums is its right-hander James Ball. Ball so far in the year, a record of 3-3, a 3.16 ERA. Appearing in his 36th game, he's thrown 48 1/3 innings of work, giving up 48 hits, 23 runs, 17 of those earned, 13 walked, and 31 strikeouts on the year for James Ball. Final line for the reliever Rob Blanc. Blanc goes an inning, giving up a run. It was earned on 1 hit, walked 1, and struck out nobody on the day. So James Ball in for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Wild Things adding on to their lead in the bottom half of the 7th. Grant Fink doubled to lead things off. Then Justin Garcia walked, and Wobrock was hit by a pitch to load the bases with nobody out. Andrew Heck then hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Fink would come in to score, and that extended the Wild Things lead to 3-1. Next batter, Chris Grayson, would pop out, and that would end the inning. Due up here in the 8th, Ricky Rodriguez, Dave Popkins, and Jimmy Yezzo. 3, 4, and 5 facing off against James Ball. Now, Ball made an appearance last night and ended up getting the win in that 10-inning game 1 of the doubleheader with the Washington Wild Things. Pitched 2 innings, They give up a run in the outing, but it was unearned as it was a courtesy runner that came around to score. Stepping in to face Ball here in the bottom of the 8th is Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far in the day, 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the first, flew out in the 3rd, and struck out in inning number 5. Nobody out, bottom of the 8th. 3-1 Wild Things lead. Ball has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Rodriguez hits this one towards right center field and deep. Going back on it, debut to the track, to the wall, and this ball's off the wall. Rodriguez around first, heading to second. He's thinking 3. Here comes the throw, and it's not in time. Ricky Rodriguez in there with a triple, and the Wild Things start the inning with a runner at 3rd and nobody out. Rodriguez hitting that one high off the right field wall. Debut had to recover. His recovery was not in time, and Rodriguez in there with a triple. That brings to the plate the right fielder Dave Popkins. Popkins so far in the day 0 for 3, struck out in the first, flew out in the 3rd, and flew out in inning number 6. Runner at 3rd, nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Wild Things trying to extend their 3-1 lead. James Ball looking in. Ball has his sign. Beach Bums infield comes in. Here's the pitch. And this ball popped up, foul territory off to the left. That'll get into the seats, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count, runner at 3rd, nobody out for the Wild Things. Ricky Rodriguez in there with the triple for Rodriguez. It's his 4th triple of the year, so he gets in there. The outfield playing very deep here against Dave Popkins. Ball has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. And this one's inside and gets away from Gabby Warby. However, it rolls towards the Beach Bums dugout, so Warby able to look Rodriguez right back to the 3rd base bag. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Nice piece of defensive work there by Gabby Warby, staying with the baseball and keeping his eye on the runner at 3rd, all at the same time. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. James Ball allows that leadoff triple here in the bottom of the 8th, now in trouble with a man on and nobody out. Popkins still batting from the right side. The switch hitter for the Wild Things against the right-handed pitcher James Ball. Popkins bats lefty. Ball has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-1. That one's outside for a ball, and the count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. for James Ball on the season. Currently has 13 walks and 31 strikeouts in 48 and a third innings. So not a guy who's going to walk a whole lot of batters in ball games. Has his sign, checks third. Here's the 2-1. And that one's high for a ball. Count now going to 3 balls and a strike here on Dave Popkins. 3-1 the count, nobody out. Here in the bottom of inning number 8, Wild Things do have a runner at third as they look to add on to their lead. James Ball looking in. Ball has his sign, he's set. And the 3-1 offering. And this ball fouled off back to the screen, so the count fills up on Popkins. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Jimmy Yezzo, the on-deck man for the Washington Wild Things. Beach Bums manager Dan Roan out of the Beach Bums dugout to retrieve that foul ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Ball looks in, has his sign, he's set. And the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Popkins strikes out, chasing a pitch low in the dirt, and that's out number 1. 1 away for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the 8th, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far in the day is 1 for 2 at that big 2 RBI double in inning number 1. Also struck out in the 4th and popped out in inning number 6. Runner still at third for the Wild Things here with 1 man out. Righty on lefty matchup. James Ball facing off against Jimmy Yezzo. Ball has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. Yezzo ground ball right at Santisteban. Nice pick of the dirt there by Santisteban, and that's in time for out number 2. Yezzo couldn't have hit the ball much harder, but unfortunately right at Santisteban making the play for out number 2. That'll move the Beach Bums defense back here and brings to the plate the catcher Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far 0 for 3. Struck out in the 1st, popped out in the 4th, and popped out in inning number 6. No action in the Wild Things bullpen, so Colin Stanley will more than likely stay in this ballgame to pitch the 9th, looking for a 2-inning save here in this one. Ball has his sign, checks third. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Kyle Pollock. Pollock batting from the right side against the righty James Ball. Runner at third, Ricky Rodriguez. He tripled to lead off this inning, still over there at third. Ball checks his catcher Warby, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0. And that one's outside for a ball. Count now going to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count on the Wild Things catcher. James Ball, a guy who normally puts it in the strike zone for you, so you have to look for something to hit here if you're Pollock with this 2-0 count. Ball has his sign set, holds it to the belt, and the 2-0. And this ball fouled off back behind the screens and into the seats. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 on the Wild Things catcher, Kyle Pollock, a product of the Kansas City Royals organization, as he played in Single A for the Royals a year ago. James Ball looks into Gabby Warby. Warby actually the backup catcher for Traverse City. Ball has his sign. Here's the 2-1. That one's outside for a ball, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. The primary catcher for the Beach Bums is Kendall Patrick, who we saw caught game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. 3 balls and a strike, 2 men out. James Ball looking into Gabby Warby, going through the signs. Ball has one he likes, he's set, and the 3-1 offering. And that one's low ball 4, so it's a 2-out walk here. Kyle Pollock reaches base. That put runners at first and third for the Wild Things and brings to the plate the second baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far in the day, 1 for 2, walked in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and doubled and scored a run in inning number 7. 2 men out here in the bottom of the 8th. Fink has turned into the primary second baseman for the Washington Wild Things after Jamadrick Magruder was cut right before this series with Traverse City started. 2 men out, bottom of the 8th, 3-1. The Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums, game 3 of this 3-game series. Ball has his sign, checks third. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Fink, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things second baseman, Grant Fink. Played in the Cleveland Indians organization a year ago. Played for the Lake County Captains, same team that Trevor Foss currently plays for. Ball has his sign, he's set. Here's the 0-1. And that one's outside. Gabby Warby picking that one in the dirt. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Speaking of Trevor Foss, going to take a look at his stats for the Lake County Captains so far. He's appeared in 4 games, made 4 starts, has 1 complete game on the season, a record of 2-2 and a 2.88 ERA. Has struck out 22 and 25 innings of work in his time with the Wild Things. Foss was 8-3, had 8 complete games on the season, and a team low 2.50 ERA. Here's the 1-1, and this ball popped up by Fink. Back behind home plate, Warby giving it a look. but it'll actually hit off the roof here at Consol Energy Park, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes on Grant Fink. 1-2 the count on the Wild Things second baseman, batting from the right side against the right-handed pitcher, James Ball. Ball has the biggest beard on this Beach Bums team by far. Kind of resembles the old Brian Wilson beard, the former closer for the San Francisco Giants. James Ball has his sign. He's set, checks third. Here's the 1-2. And swinging a pop-up. Shallow right field, Stephen Patterson going out, going towards foul territory, and Patterson makes the catch just before that foul line, and that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 2 on. Going to the top of the 9th and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Traverse City Beach Bums 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the top of the 9th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Traverse City Beach Bums 1. Colin Stanley back out there for his second inning of relief, looking for a 2-inning save in this one. Last inning against him for the Traverse City Beach Bums, Gabby Warby would strike out to lead off the inning, then Jeff W. would fly out, and Casey Rodriguez, pinch hitting for Marcus Dirks, would ground out the end to end the inning. To up here in the 9th, Ryan Bacher, Jose Vargas, and Will Kenger. Wild Things trying to go above 500 for the first time since late June. They sit at 41-41. Stepping to lead things off here on the top of the 9th is the left fielder, Ryan Bacher. Bacher so far 0 for 2. Walked in the first, grounded out, was robbed of a base hit, by Grant Fink, and then flew out in inning number 6. Colin Stanley looking for save number 4 on the season. Stanley looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. The right-hander has one he likes. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And that one's in there on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Ryan Bacher, batting from the left side against the righty Colin Stanley. Bacher is a switch hitter. Stanley has his sign, holds at the belt, the 0-1. That one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the 9th. 3 runs on 6 hits for the Wild Things. 1 run on 4 hits for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Stanley has his sign, holds at the belt, and the 1-1. That one's outside for a ball, and the count now going to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, nobody out, top of the 9th. As we said, 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Beach Bums here in this inning. Stanley has his sign, he's set, and the 2-1. This ball grounded towards first. Diving stop by Yezzo to his feet. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that is out number 1. What a play there by Jimmy Yezzo. Diving to his left towards the foul line, coming up with that ball, getting to his feet fast enough, and getting there for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums here in the top of the 9th, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far in the day, 0 for 3, hit into a double play, struck out and flew out in the ball game. Stanley looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. That one's in there for a strike, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Here on Jose Vargas, the designated hitter for Traverse City. Righty on righty matchup. Stanley has his sign, he's set. Here's the 0-1. This ball fouled off back into the seats and right, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count, 1 man out, top of the 9th. Wild Things hold on to a slim 2-run lead. They scored 2 in the first and added a run in the bottom half of the 7th. Stanley looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Jose Vargas, and that's good for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Beach Bums here in the top of the ninth, and it brings to the plate the shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far in the day is 1 for 2, tripled, grounded out, and walked here in this ball game. There are 2 men out, top of the ninth. Colin Stanley looking for save number 4 of the year, looking to save it for Chase Cunningham. Cunningham would look for his 6th win on the season. Stanley has his sign, the pitch, and this ball popped up. Left field, Andrew Heck towards the foul line, and this ball's gone. A solo home run for Will Kenger, and the Traverse City Beach Bums fighting back in this 9th inning. They get a run, and it's now 3-2 Wild Things. Kenger's 8th home run of the year. That one hits high off the West Liberty University sign above the yellow line here at Consol Energy Park. And with that, the score goes to 3-2 and brings up the second baseman, Steven Patterson. Patterson so far on the day is 0 for 2, struck out, grounded out, and hit a sacrifice fly. Run comes in, but the Wild Things still holding a 1-run lead. It's 3-2. Stanley has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. That one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the second baseman for the Traverse City Beach Bums, Patterson. Second on the team with 12 home runs on the year, trailing Jose Vargas. It's Kenger's 8th home run of the year. 3-2 the score. Stanley has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0. That one's high for a ball, and now the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Stanley got the first 2 outs rather quickly in this inning, in the ground out of Ryan Bacher and the strikeout of Jose Vargas before giving up that solo home run by Will Kenger. Kyle Pollock going out to talk to Colin Stanley. Prior to this season for Colin Stanley, had not had a save in his professional career. He's picked up 3 saves here in this season. One of them was of the you pitch 3 innings at the end of the game and your team has the victory variety. His last 2 saves were 1 innings, and this is a 2-inning save. Here's the 2-0, and this ball grounded to the right side past the diving Jimmy Yezzo for a base hit. So Steven Patterson on with a 2-out single. That puts the tying run at first with 2 away and brings to the plate the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail so far 0 for 3, struck out in the second, struck out in the fifth, and grounded out in inning number 7. 3-2 Wild Things lead. Colin Stanley has hit some trouble here with 2 outs, trying to pick up his 4th save of the year, but still good. That tying run only sitting on first as of right now. Stanley has his sign, checks Patterson, and the pitch. And this ball popped up. Left side, Austin Wobrock out to shallow left, and he will make the catch. You can put it in the books. Your Wild Things win. Final score, Wild Things 3, Traverse City 2. Winning pitcher tonight is Chase Cunningham. He goes to 6-9. The loser, Tucker Simpson, he falls to 3-4. The save goes to Colin Stanley, his 4th save of this 2016 season. And your Wild Things get the series win over Traverse City and are back over 500 for the first time since early July. They sit at 42-41. Traverse City falls to 37-48. We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network. Washington Wild Things postgame show coming up here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score here tonight from Consol Energy Park. Your Wild Things take Game 3 from the Traverse City Beach Bums, and they take the series. Final score, Wild Things 3, Traverse City 2. Tonight's winning pitcher, Chase Cunningham. Cunningham improves to 6-9 on the season. The losing pitcher is Tucker Simpson. Simpson falls to 3-4. The save goes to Colin Stanley. It's Stanley's 4th save of the year, and the Wild Things are back over 500. They sit at 43-42 on the year. Recap for you here in this one. The first team to score will be the Wild Things in the bottom half of the first. Andrew Heck would single to lead things off before Chris Grayson popped out for the first out of the inning. Then Ricky Rodriguez would single, putting runners at first and second with one man out. Dave Popkins would then strike out, and Jimmy Yezzo came through with a big 2 RBI double. Both Heck and Rodriguez would score, and the Wild Things would take a 2-0 lead early on in this ball game. And that's what our score would stay for a while. It was a pitcher's duel in the middle half of this ball game, especially innings 3, 4, and 5. Both Tucker Simpson and Chase Cunningham really bearing down. For Cunningham, he faced 3 in the third, got a 1-2-3 in the fourth, and faced 4 men in the fifth. For Tucker Simpson, 1-2-3 innings in both the third and fourth. The Wild Things would threaten against him in the fifth, but would not score. Justin Garcia and Austin Wolbrock struck out before Andrew Heck walked, and Chris Grayson singled to put runners at first and second with 2 away. But then Ricky Rodriguez would strike out to end the inning. Simpson also getting a 1-2-3 inning in inning number 6. For Chase Cunningham, he gave up his first run in the 7th inning. Will Kendra would triple to lead things off. Then a sac fly by Steven Patterson would allow Kendra to come around to score. It was Patterson's 57th RBI of the year. He leads the Beach Bums in that category. Then Elijah Trail would ground out, and Christian Santisteban would fly out to end the inning. That made the score 2-1, Washington Wild Things. Wild Things got some insurance in the bottom half of that 7th inning as Grant Fink doubled to lead things off. Then Justin Garcia would walk before Austin Wolbrock was hit by a pitch that would load the bases for the Wild Things with nobody out. Then Andrew Heck hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Grant Fink would come in to score, and that made the score Wild Things 3 and the Traverse City Beach Bums 1. After that 7th inning, Chase Cunningham's night was over. Cunningham ended up going 7 innings, giving up 1 run. It was earned on 4 hits, walked 3, and struck out 5. Those 5 strikeouts, 1 under his career high of 6. He had 6 strikeouts in his last outing against the Schaumburg Boomers. For his opposition, Tucker Simpson. Simpson went 6 in this ball game, gave up 2 runs, both earned on 4 hits, walked 2, and struck out 7 in the ball game. Rob Blanc pitched that 7th inning for Traverse City. That was the only inning he'd go in this ball game. He gave up 1 run. It was earned on 1 hit, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. James Ball would then pitch a scoreless bottom of the 8th inning for Traverse City's. Wild Things would threaten but would not score. Ricky Rodriguez tripled to lead things off. Then Dave Popkins struck out before Jimmy Yezzo grounded out. Kyle Pollock walked to put runners at first and third with 2 men out. But then Grant Fink popped out to end that frame. Top of the 9th, Colin Stanley in for his 2nd inning of relief. Made things interesting for the Wild Things, looking for his 4th save of the season as Ryan Bacher grounded out to start things and Jose Vargas struck out. So it was an easy start to the 9th inning as Colin Stanley retired the first 5 men he faced, but then Will Kendra took him deep to left field, a solo home run. It was Kendra's 8th home run of the year, and that made the score 3-2 Wild Things. Steven Patterson would then single with 2 men out before Elijah Trail popped out to end the ball game and seal the series victory for the Washington Wild Things. They win this one tonight, 3-2. Let's look at the totals here in this game. First, for the victorious Washington Wild Things, they improved to 43-42 on the year. Their winning pitcher was Chase Cunningham. He improves to 6-9. Cunningham went 7 innings, gave up 1 run. It was earned on 4 hits, walked 3, and struck out 5. The team had 4 runs in the ball game on a total of 6 hits and did not commit an error in this one. For the Traverse City Beach Bums, they fall to 37-48 on the year. Their losing pitcher was Tucker Simpson. Simpson went 6, gave up 2 runs, both earned on 4 hits, walked 2, and struck out 7. The Beach Bums scored 2 runs in the game on a total of 4 hits and did not commit an error in this ball game. The save going to Colin Stanley, Stanley's 4th save of the year. Stanley goes 2 innings, gives up 1 run, it was earned, did not walk anybody, and struck out 2 in the ball game. So the Wild Things win 3-2 and take the series from the Traverse City Beach Bums here in Game 3 at Consol Energy Park. Going to take a look at the Around the League scoreboard here in the Frontier League. Currently in Schaumburg, Illinois, in the bottom of the 5th, the Lake Erie Crushers handling the Schaumburg Boomers by a score of 6-3. At Bosse Field in Evansville, Indiana, the Evansville Otters lead the Normal Corn Belters 2-1. In Southern Illinois, the Southern Illinois Miners are handling Florence 4-1. And in Gateway, Illinois, the Gateway Grizzlies handling the River City Rascals 2-0 the score there. 1 game postponed today as the Joliet Slammers and Windy City Thunderbolts were rained out in Joliet, Illinois. That game will be made up tomorrow at 4:05 as part of a doubleheader at Silver Cross Field. And speaking about Joliet, this series victory sets the Wild Things up for a big series against the Joliet Slammers. They will play them 4 games here at Consol Energy Park, a battle of the top 2 teams here in the Frontier League East. We'll have a doubleheader Friday night, 6:05 first pitch. It's a fireworks night here at Consol Energy Park. Game 1 of that doubleheader, the Joliet Slammers will be the home team, as we had a game rained out in late June in Joliet. So Joliet will be the home team, Wild Things will be the road team, and then game 2 of that doubleheader back to the normal format with the Wild Things as the home team and Joliet as the road team. That gets kicked off at 6:05. Then after that doubleheader, going to be a fireworks night here at Consol Energy Park. Then on Saturday, we got a single game for you, 7:05 first pitch, and the series concludes. The final home game for the Wild Things on the regular season will be Sunday at 5:05, final Kids Day of the year here in the regular season at Consol Energy Park. But next Wild Things broadcast going to be that doubleheader at 6:05. Come out if you can. Get tickets at www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. Support the Wild Things as they make this late playoff push here in the Frontier League. They're currently 2.5 back of the Joliet Slammers for the lead in the Frontier League East. And coming into today, depending on the finals in the other games, we're a half game back of that second wild card spot. But the final tonight, your Wild Things win the series with Traverse City as they take game 3, 3-2. Chase Cunningham gets the win. Tucker Simpson gets the loss. Off day tomorrow, but till we talk to each other again on Friday, I, Zach Ziegler, say, have a good night, everybody.
MSA Sports. Press 1 to resume or 3 to end broadcast. Your broadcast has been ended.